5 minutes to make a name for yourself like you never made before.
If he kicks this goal, Hawthorn are in the grand final. Oh, Dipierdomenico! Here is the magician at work. He should kick it. Up he comes. He kicks on.
You've got to show me all the guts and all the determination you've got in your body. You've got to inspire me. At least you can come off and say, I did this, or I played on. At least I did something.
Shining on the Son of Surge here at the MCG today as we see Stephen Silvagni take the ground for the 300th time. There's son Ben in his arms, Jack leading them out, and a guard of honour by Carlton greats and members of the 87 and 95 premiership teams. It's a wonderful scene for one of the game's great champions, fullback of the century and a legend of the game, Stephen Silvagni. What a great moment. There's young Jack doing a great job of taking the boys out. He'll never forget that, and nor should he. Well, welcome, hello, and well, it's a big day here at the G, and of course a big day for SOS, but also a game between two of the game's great rivals, Richmond and Carlton. A lot of focus on SOS today. There has been all week. Let's check out what he had to say about the big occasion himself.
I must admit that when you play your first game, you're pretty happy to play one game, but when you start out playing footy, you don't think you're going to play 300. So obviously I'm pretty lucky to have played sort of 17 years of footy and to get to 300 games. You know, I'm wrapped.
What's been the greatest honour?
I think you play footy to play and winning grand finals, and you look back and you know, they're real special moments. So obviously, you know, footy's a team sport, and to be able to celebrate wins like that is what you play for.
Well, he's got that dead right, and another Carlton great joining us today on the commentary team, Ian Robertson. It's a big day for Carlton, but also they've got a game to win here today, Robbo.
Yeah, no doubt about that, Paul, and I think Stephen Silvagni is just a credit to himself and his family. Serge Silvagni I played football with, and Stephen has just been a tremendous Carlton servant, and as he said, played 17 seasons, but he did suffer a few injuries over that period, and his persistence has been enormous. But you mentioned about winning a game of football. The Blues are just going along quite nicely, but they've got to get over the top of not a bitter opponent, but certainly an opponent that would be revved up. They're just struggling a little bit, the Tigers, and of course a pet opponent, when you're going ordinary, it can be your traditional rival, which in this case, Richmond v Carlton.
Yeah, certainly there's a lot to look forward to. Let's check out the Carlton squad. We just saw Cooter on screen. Great to see him playing. But you've earmarked a few of the boys there that have been standing up well for the Blues lately.
Well, Stephen in particular, because I think he helps out Lance Whitnall, and Lance Whitnall can't do it on his own. I mean, you need a big, strong player like Stephen Silvagni. You've played football against him down in defence. Well, up in the forward line, he's very competitive. Yep. I am a big rap at the moment for Porter, simply because he's standing up, playing decent football, in the fact that they've lost Matthew Allen. And the emerging Darren Hume, 24 years of age, nearly 70 games now, and it's these players that have to come through at that level just to creep up a little bit more, put pressure on the opposition midfield, and he's been good. But that player on screen, I think, I saw him play a couple of weeks ago, and in a losing team, and I reckon he nearly got the 3 votes. He was enormous, Mark Porter.
He's been an absolute revelation, and Scott Camporelli there, a critical member of the Carlton midfield. On the other hand, Robbo, you've got the Richmond side, and you said they've been a little bit out of touch and need some confidence. Matty Knights is one guy that could use a good game today.
Well, I think that he will be pumped, because there's been a fair amount of publicity about his form over the last few weeks, and he's a great player, Matthew Knights. He in the middle of the ground have to give the opportunity, his fellow midfielders, give the opportunities for the player coming back in Matthew Richardson, Ben Holland and Brad Ottens, the tall players up on the full forward line, to kick goals. They need to kick about 17 to win. It's a perfect day. And the other onus there is on Andrew Callaway, who I feel may pick up Lance Whitnall.
Well, potentially some very exciting matchups today, and let's hope Matty Knight's there on screen does have a big one, because he has also been a great champion of the game. Well, also joining us in the commentary box today is the great Doug Hawkins, the irrepressible 300-game legend. And there he is. He's a thorough professional, this man. He does his homework there. He knows his stuff inside out. Here is one of the Guernseys. Steve Silvagni will actually take the field in today. There are going to be 4. This is the one he'll wear in the last quarter. So a 300-game authentic Guernsey for Steve Silvagni. We'll take a break now and we'll be back with the opening bounce right after this.
Well, it's shaping as a big day here at the MCG. It's a wonderful afternoon for football, and the stand's almost packed. And it's a great scene here as we see thousands of Carlton and Richmond supporters, and I would dare say thousands of neutral supporters here to witness a great game. And on the boundary is, as ever, in great form, Dipper. How are you, mate?
Yeah, thanks very much, Fish. Well, everyone is swept up with the 300 games to Silvagni. Well done, Steve, and I hope you enjoy the day. As you mentioned, the crowd, I'm estimating 80,000 plus here. Standing room only in some of these stands, and looking forward to a terrific game. For Richmond, Hall, King, Mills and Vardy will start on the bench. And for the Blues, Favola, Houlihan, Doering and Massey.
Thanks, Dipper, and also welcome, Hawk. What are your anticipations, mate, of this big day?
Well, Fish, it's going to be a great game of footy. Congratulations to Steve Silvagni. He's been an outstanding player, an absolute champion, no doubt about that. Richmond won the toss and they're kicking towards the city end. And, of course, down the punt road end is where Carlton will be kicking.
Well, Bradley on Knights, Andrew Callaway on Lance Whitnall, back there at fullback, Darren Gaspar on Stephen Silvagni. And it looked like Duncan Callaway has the job, maybe running with Brett Ratton.
Geez, Robbo, I saw these sides come onto the ground, and Richmond looked very fired up. They're very tight, very close, a lot of intensity.
Gaspar may have gone to Whitnall now by the look of it.
That's Holland.
Holland, is it?
With Whitnall.
Ben Holland with Whitnall, and Andrew Callaway on Hickmott. Still the umpire just a little nonplussed maybe as to how he can clear that centre bounce area. Once again, he will call for the football.
Big job for Glenn Manton today, Robbo. Got the job on Ottens. Hawk, he's been in great form.
He's been great, Fish, no doubt about that. And big job for Beaumont too. He's got the job on Richie. I think you may have mentioned that already, Robbo, but big job for Salmon Beaumont.
Well, they're being stretched in the back half, aren't they, the Blues? Bradley to Mansfield. Handball is all right. Handball from Hickmott. Goes back to Hume. Hume into the pocket. In front was Lappin. Can't control the football. After him there is Tawney. The football still with Silvagni! Could this be a miraculous start to his 300th game? No. And eventually Rory Hilton takes it over for a rush behind the first score of the game.
That was very exciting stuff. Wouldn't it have been great if Sauce had slotted that through? Would have brought the stands to life. But, well, been bottled up early. These sides are going to arm wrestle for some early ascendancy.
Joel Bowden to Holland. Back to Bowden. Bowden an ordinary kick. But it may come off. Knights is in the van. He ducked his head. Too high was the tackle. Mansfield was the tackler, but Knight certainly ducked his head.
I don't know about you, Hawk.
He did duck his head, Fish, but he did get taken high. You caught it right, Robbo.
No choice, Mansfield.
Knights, confusion there. Then the kick, not all that good. Gathered here by Chaffey. Chaffey is at centre half-back. Short kick is all right. Taken by Cameron. Through the middle of the ground go the Tigers. Holland kicks towards half-forward, and the mark's taken by Silvagni. Well, just a moment or so ago, he was flabbing a shot at goal. Franchina, Camporelli, very much a key in this Carlton lineup. Missed by Bradley, taken by Cameron. Cameron's kick towards the half-forward area. Tigers trying to provide a contest. Christou, hand pass, Silvagni, quickly onto his boot to half-forward. Tigers have got the players back there. They outnumber by about 6-1, and eventually the short kick into the middle has been taken by Daffy. Daffy across the half-forward line. Richardson not able to gather. Ground being given away by Koutafidis. Back to Beaumont. Very confident now, Simon Beaumont. His kick will land at the feet of Lappin. A little fortuitously, but he made it his. Gathered, kick with the left. Taken by Hume. Can he outrun his opponent? He can. That was Tawney. Hume goes into the middle. That's reasonably effective, and the mark is taken by Whitnall.
Yeah, nowhere to go, Fish.
Field, was there, Hawk?
Nowhere, Fish, to go then.
Short. And the mark taken here by Houghton. Carlton have the only score, a rush behind.
Hawks are flooding back, aren't they?
They are flooding back the Richmond side, no doubt about that.
Whitnall, no one really on the mark. He could gather 3 or 4 metres here. He could run all the way to the 50-metre line. Now he's being called to play on. Lobs it into the square, looking for a spectacular mark. Not forthcoming. Daffy, confronted by McKay, boundary throw-in.
He sort of half kicked that, didn't he, boys? I mean, he should have just gone back and had a big go at it. It's a beautiful kick of a ball.
You're right, Dipper. There's only 2 players there, Fish, for Richmond outside of the defence. Inside 50 was Ottens. It looked like Rogers. Sorry, and Matty Richardson in the goal square. They make that 3.
Hawks, you've just got to get more movement up forward if there's going to be a flood, or create a bunch.
Silvagni, snapshot at goal again. Left foot was a bit of an up and under. Holland to Bowden. Bowden close to the line. Was that out of the full? Well done, the pressure applied there by McKay. Forces a free kick which will go to the Blues and will be taken by their star defender, Andrew McKay.
Richmond have got their intentions, made their intentions very clear, haven't they, Doug, with their aggressive defensive tactics early.
Looks like McKay made the job on Daffy too at this stage.
Campbell running with Camperelli, but McKay has the football. Left forward pocket, close to the boundary line, gets it through for a behind. So Carlton lead 2 behinds, Richmond yet to score.
A lot of discussion during the week about the flooding tactic and how it may create a pretty boring effect on the game, but I think it's only a short-term problem for the game of football. Carlton are just going to move the ball quickly through midfield and long and direct, get in there to Sauce and to Whitnall as quickly as possible.
Tivendale, then Campbell. Player on his own is Hilton. Hilton goes into the full forward area. Christou out of position. Does well though, and forces a boundary throw in. Rogers was very much the hot favourite to gather that ball.
Let's see that contest again here. Christou didn't have his eyes on the ball. Bit of holding. Look, it's a sticky touch. It was good defensive effort in the end.
Boundary throw in, left forward pocket for the Tigers. Can they score a goal? Blues have had most of the play in the forward 50. Broderick after it. Can't quite get the effective hand pass away. Pressure applied in that defensive area there for the Blues by Houghton. He was in there back after it again. And the umpire will call for a bounce.
Just watching here, 2 Fish at the moment. Duncan Callaway has got the big job on Brett Ratton at this stage, and Joel Bowden is playing on Anthony Koutafetes.
Well, that's one of the biggest jobs in football, trying to take Brett Ratton out of the game.
Absolutely.
It's very difficult to do.
Very much in the Tiger full forward area. Porter. A snapshot at goal for the Tigers. Going to be marked. Richardson. Daffy it was that got the ball from the bounce. What's Campbell going berserk about now?
About Ratton there, Robbo, I think.
Well, I don't know what's going on. It's, surely you wouldn't bother asking for the 50-metre penalty, would you? He's 5 metres out anyway. But that's pure strength there, Richardson.
Well, a good start for Matthew Richardson because he's a key part of this Richmond lineup. And Matthew Richardson has kicked a goal. No, he hasn't. He's missed. From point-blank range. How can you miss from there, Doug?
Well, I'll tell you what, Fish, that 50 may have been very important. After all, get him on that goal line.
Well, there's a bit of...
You shouldn't miss from there, should you?
No, you shouldn't. Well, I've got to say, I've done it. Doug, it's not a great feeling as we see Danny Frawley in the box. Well, as a coach, this early situation in the game, there's really not much to read into it, other than the fact that it's man-on-man football, pretty hard.
Well, it was a chance for the Richmond side that went begging. Porter with strength. Beaumont missed his target. Chance here for Tivendale, close to the boundary line. Good interception provided by Camperelli. Forces a boundary throw in.
Here we are. We can see Richo shot in. He's kicked a mongrel. Dropped the ball very awkward on that occasion. Of course, coming back from that hamstring, if you 2 Fish as well.
Yeah, you can't stop it. You just stab it a little bit there.
Houlihan quickly onto the ground. Campbell to Knights. Gee, we've called that a few times over the years, haven't we? Knights kick across the half-forward line, taken by Manton. Great ball off. Well done. Beaumont into the middle. Gathered by Hume to McKay. Can he shrug the tackle? He arches his back and kicks it towards full forward. Silvagni gets rid of his opponent. Ball close to the boundary line and runs away from Stephen Silvagni. Over for a boundary throw in about 40 metres around from the Carlton goal.
Yeah, there's been a lot of pressure on Matthew Knight, so today's a big job for him. He's got Craig Bradley, so Bradley's been in terrific form, of course. We know he's 37 years of age. He's been outstanding.
Sometimes the reasoning behind that, Doug, is to get on a player that can take it
Take
the ball.
The footy, yeah, you're right, Fish. Yeah, good point.
maybe a little closer than 40, maybe only 35 metres from the Carlton goal. Silvagni does the ruck work. Lappin read it but couldn't get away. The tacklers were there. Gaspar, he's been confronted. Silvagni, Lappin, Tawney, and eventually Bradley forces Tawney over with the football. Adrian Hickmott very much on the scene.
This is great stuff, Robbo. It's the contest, a loose ball. It's going to be every man for himself. It's a bun fight so far, but you know, it's great to see this early in the game.
So the boundary thrown once again. Silvagni from behind. Couldn't really get an effective bash on the ball. Tivendale. In underneath that is Ben Holland. And he's going to get a free kick by the look of it. Tackle a little high there. And maybe Camporelli was the infringing player.
He was. I think the umpire was keen to break up what was becoming a pretty ugly scene on off the boundary line.
Steve Silvagni's had 4 kicks, the most kicks so far on the ground between the two sides. Great start for his 3-0 game.
And of course, i7sport.com.au and McAvaney's Monday, something I really enjoy logging on to. Be a part of it.
Boundary throw in, right half forward for the Blues. The tap went in Bowden's direction. Brendan Gale trying to provide a bit of a path. Kutafides handball. Bradley, left foot kick into the middle, and Freeborn may have taken his eye off the ball momentarily. In went Broderick, but Freeborn the infringing player, so Broderick will take the free kick on centre wing. Just goes wide. Player on his own is Campbell. Campbell short. Chipping in Porter, but Richardson was on the long lead. And Matthew Richardson in that sort of form is an encouraging sign for the Tigers.
No lack of confidence with his hamstring there, Doug Hawkins. He's sprinted out like a steam train, taking it low. And that's a big confidence booster for Matty and for Richmond. How Campbell finds that sort of space, we'll never know, but he's done it so many times in his career.
Well, Richardson missing from a similar angle, but only 5 metres from goal. This time he's 45 out, and he kicks the goal. Well, there is no such thing as predictability in football.
No, there's not. There you've got a guy who's only moments ago missed one by a few metres and a bit of an angle. But it's amazing, you just take a little bit of pressure off yourself as we see the ball coming forward here. Finds Campbell with plenty of time, plenty of space. And Richardson's read that so well. Had yards on his direct opponent, Beaumont. Porter nearly chopped it off. But here you go, from 50 metres out, straight through, never in doubt. Big confidence booster.
Well, magnificent kick by Matthew Richardson. After missing earlier, Porter gets the tap down. Hume does the roving. Gets the ball to Mansfield. Mansfield into the pocket. Whitnall couldn't take the mark. Back there was Andrew Callaway. Went straight through Chaffee. Mansfield to gather. Can't spin away from trouble. Hume ran a fair distance to get to the support base. Now Houlihan. Hickmott. Back to Houlihan. He's going to get run down. But he brilliantly spins out of trouble. Absolutely fooled Tivendale. Let himself down by kicking the ball straight to Bowden.
It's a brilliant spin, one. Great play. The kick was no good. He caught it well, Robbo.
Reminiscent of D. Hawkins out there at the Western Oval on many occasions. Camporelli into the pocket. The Blues have got it. It's Whitnall in the right forward pocket for Carlton. A similar angle to Matthew Richardson at the other end of the ground. Maybe a little closer, but certainly with his right foot close to the boundary line, a difficult shot for Lance Whitnall.
Well, he'll back himself in here from Robbo, no doubt about that. But much better movement in the forward 50 from Carlton there. The Richmond players had flooded back again, but space was found because the ball was in motion.
Whitnall going for Carlton's first goal. He's popped it through. The Blues have got their first on the scoreboard.
Well, Big Lance has done it again. Quick answer for the Blues. And that's a good sign for the Carlton side, because nothing wrong with his work rate, is there? Watch the ball here. Turnover in the centre of the ground. A bit of a lazy kick there. Gave Daffy no chance. And Freeborn, quick vision, movement out wide, Camporelli. And Whitnall had cut across the ground to the other pocket. And a wonderful finish for Lance there, and a good answer for the Blues.
Well, Carlton by 1 point. Whitnall the goal kicker for Carlton. Matthew Richardson the goal kicker for Richmond. The two big guns in the respective forward lines. Gale up high. Tivendale on the defensive side of the pack. Got the hand pass back. Still in a bit of trouble. Was that a throw? No. Play on. Hilton kicks it forward. Players up there have stopped a little, ever so slightly. Christou hasn't stopped. Christou still hasn't stopped. And well done. there by Ange Christou to follow up the ball no matter what happened back there at the centre bounce.
It just it must frustrate the coach when you see players stop Doug like that, and just keep going until the umpire really comes and grabs you by a jumper and pulls you up.
Well, the main offender fish was Brad Ottens. He just stopped still, didn't he?
Well, Bradley, just a slight fumble. Christou makes a contest again, and the football not being able to be cleared out of that congestion will be bounced.
I reckon earlier, Robbo, you made a great point about the lack of height in defence of Carlton at the moment. You've got Rahal on the bench. Don't be surprised if Brendan Gale goes forward with Ottens, of course, Richardson down there as well, and Hawkins going to a ruck. So it could be, dispose their small back line of Carlton.
Certainly give them some problems, won't it, if they can get enough use of the ball around half-back and the midfield to give those boys the chance to kick a winning score.
Just saw a great tackle by Matty Knights there, and as much as marks and kicks and goals get your confidence up, laying good tackles like that, pinning a bloke like Darren Hume is strong over the ball, will do the world of good for Matty.
Couple of kicks to Knights, one kick and one hand pass to Bradley. McKay overruns it, in support is Bradley, then Freeborn, now Camporelli, the playmaker. He kicks it high, but it's not really to the advantage of any of the Carlton midfielders, and Tawney chips across and takes the mark. Tawney looking to play on, is forced to kick high in the finish, and only as far as McKay. He plays on quickly, little left foot kick out into the path there of Houlihan. He plays it pretty well, actually.
Very clever.
But then provided a slight enough shepherd to the advantage of McKay. Ratton's first touch at the feet of Hickmott. McKay crashes through, can't get past. The tackle was quite effective. It came from Duncan Galloway and eventually forces a boundary throw in. Good tough in and under stuff.
Yeah, it was good, and Tawney just fell down. He took the mark in the middle. As you see the replay of McKay getting pinned there, Callaway. But just some indiscriminate kicking into the forward line. You'll pay a heavy price. Turnovers.
Left half forward for the Blues. Taken away in the finish by Brendan Gale. Back to the middle. Mark had his eyes on it this time, didn't he? Scotty Freeborn. He wasn't going to let that go. Short to Silvagni. No one really to kick to, but he does it very skillfully and then coughs it up. He was in two minds. I'm sure it was Christou or Camporelli. He picked the man in the middle, which was Tivendale. In towards half forward. Good mark. Strong mark. Taken by Brad Ottens. Maybe too far out to score. He is a prodigious kicker of football. He decides to go into the pocket. Richardson quick and very skillfully done, Matthew Richardson in front of Beaumont.
Well, Matty Richardson had no choice but to lead to that pocket then. What was just out of off screen was Silvagni had pushed down to the hole. Richardson plays on here.
To the goal square. Got to go Porter. Provided a contest. Bradley into the middle. Blues away. Taken by Houlihan. Left foot kick by Houlihan onto the chest of. It's Cooter. Quickly up to his feet. Left foot kick into the pocket's okay too. Mark taken by Hickmott. Looks to play on, but there's no one in the goal square. There's still no big man back there. Houlihan and Hume are the players. He goes short, looks for, and doesn't find Hume, he finds Bowden.
That's what Richmond are doing, aren't they, boy? They're forcing Carlton to kick short with this flooding, and it's working so far.
Daffy with the football. Goes quite long, and Tawney is marked safely on his chest. Tawney with a few touches. His second kick coming up, plus a hand pass.
Looks like now Gasper's got the job on Koutafidis.
Hilton with the football into the pocket, good lead, and at the face of Brad Ottens, it was a pretty good kick as well. Ottens has the ball. Carlton lead 8 to Richmond 7. Oh, well done, Richardson again. Well, he is going to prove a problem because simply because of his height
and strength. I mean, let's face it, Matty Richardson might be, 15 kilos heavier than Beaumont.
You're right, Dippo.
He just sort of worked him under the ball then, and that was just a perfect kick for Richo.
It was, and the confidence is up with Richardson too because he's calling for it. He's pointing to the ball carrier where he wants it, and he's getting it so far.
Maybe Koutafidis to go back on him. Richardson from 30 metres out directly in front sprays it. Absolutely missed it by a margin, a decent margin.
And when you mentioned their forward line before, Richardson, Ottens and these sort of players, they're just too tall and too strong for their current opponents at the moment. But down the other end, they're just forcing Carlton to kick short,
Yeah, good point. Right, but Richmond Tools have just got to make most of those chances. That's a set shot. That's 2 by Richardson who's missed. They can be costly.
Porter's got to get to this contest. He does and takes a spectacular mark.
Robbo, he came from nowhere then, honestly.
He ran a long way to get to that. Could go short, but he decides to hand it off to Bradley. Bradley into the middle. The Blues are going to take this. It's Mansfield. Quickly off. Ratton. Where does he go? Kicks to Silvagni's advantage. It was a magnificent kick by Ratton. Reminiscent of anything that Greg Williams has ever done on the football field.
Now, Robbo, that was set up by Bradley. Fantastic. Everyone ran to the boundary line. He just spotted what Mansfield, I think it was. Inside kick. Oh, fantastic kick.
Yeah, it was great. And Sauces asked Ratton to kick it across his body, Robbo, and he still found him. That's brilliant, skillful football.
Silvagni. He in turn has missed. No, is it a mark? No. McKay was there. The ball spilling for a behind. Kick by Stephen Silvagni.
Well, Fish, you've been a great goal kick in your day. Tell me what went wrong there. It was a couple of steps, or did he go back further enough to beat the Sauce?
Well, there wasn't any obvious routine there in the approach, but he actually seemed to stab at it, didn't he, Doug?
Didn't he? Just jab it,
he didn't give it anything. And I find it best kicking for goal in the MCG. Just give it some air.
Kick through the footy, don't you? Don't just jab it.
We never kick. We never miss when we've retired, do we?
No, we don't.
6 kicks, 2 marks, and a behind to Stephen Silvagni in the early part of the game. Football with Andrew Callaway to Chaffee. Chaffee into the pocket. Well done, Whitnall. Got his fist to the football. Hilton tries to tap it back. Knights. Broderick. Wasn't that a great little hand pass by Paul Broderick? And then eventually the Tigers letting themselves down. They got themselves into a clear position. The kick from Hilton out of bounds on the full. Free kick to the Blues.
There's a fair bit of pressure out there, Robbo, at the moment, and both sides are coughing it up, and it'll be interesting to see how long it takes this game to settle down to any set pattern for either side.
Looks like here 2 Fish now. Manton has gone to Richardson. Beaumont's gone across to Ottens. It's still a big job for Beaumont on Ottens, I tell you now.
Gasper's kick in towards half forward, gathered by Franchina, missed his target. Well, I'll give him the credit. He had 3 targets, and he eventually found one of them. Kick forward by Beaumont towards full forward, spills to the back. Tigers outnumber. Player in the area there is Cameron. Little left foot kick by Leon Cameron's pretty good. Brendan Gale, run on Ben Holland. He does, kicks and coughs it up. Koutafidis is marked away from bound.
He nearly went. He nearly went. He was one of about 6 Blues players just back of midfield.
Go wide to Silvagni. Sorry, Paul.
Not at all.
Silvagni is 50 metres from goal. He can go short. And the player on the mark has intercepted Ben Holland. Kicked it away. And Ottens has dropped the sitter. He had that spent too. Trying to tap it to his advantage. Beaumont, Ottens. What a good contest there. Physically, I mean, and mentally as well. Both players attempting, one to defend, one to try and create something. And eventually a boundary, the umpire will come in and bounce.
Well, just
sloppy play, Fish.
It was sloppy play. Beaumont had a chance when Ottens dragged it under just to grab his jumper and appeal. I mean, he just lost his footing there. I'm a bit worried about that matchup with Manton and Richardson. I mean, I hope Glenn proves me wrong, but they just look totally mismatched in size, and Richardson started confidently. We'll wait and see.
Carlton by a point, and we have 4.5 minutes left in the first term.
Look at that. Well, Glenn's done some big jobs on some big players in his day, and that's why he's played a lot of league footy, but Whitnall's gone back.
I just reckon, Robbo. Sorry, Fish. I think you made a good point there, Robbo. Maybe Koutafidis hasn't much say in this game so far. He could be a perfect match up down there. He can start some run out of their back line as well.
Exactly.
On the Richo.
The athleticism of Anthony Koutafidis could work in Carlton's favour on both counts. Richmond get the ball all the way up towards the full forward area. Whitnall is back there. He'll probably allow it to roll over. Don't touch it. Gee, he was very careful not to get anywhere near it as it rolled over.
Doug, that's a big decision by Wayne Britton to take Lance Whitnall, drop him back in defence as a loose man. Maybe it's only for a short period to stem the flow, but robbing Peter to pay Paul a little bit.
Yeah, I think they've done that, Fish, in the past couple of weeks. He's been known to go forward, particularly when the ball ain't coming in that forward line too well, which it ain't at the moment.
Broderick kicks it forward. Big punch by Houlihan. Now a chance for Richmond, right in front of their goal. Campbell, Houlihan's handball. To no one in particular, but Camporelli very skillfully, very skillfully, scythes his way through a group of Richmond players and then kicks it back to the middle where Ben Holland kicks it high in the air. Stand under that and play fair, they said. And it was Andrew McKay who judged it best and marked safely on his chest.
Well read. He's got nothing, Chris, to upfield here. Bantry might be his best friend.
Got to go very wide for Mansfield. Not able to take the mark, but at least he was there and not allowing the Tigers who had 2-on-1, Chaffee and Hilton, to force it forward. At least he's seen a boundary throw in.
Well, the scores here, Doug, are indicating a really titanic struggle in his first quarter, and we've only got a few minutes left, and it's 1-2, Carlton's 1-3.
Boundary throw in, right forward pocket. That looked like Mansfield that's come off the ground with
looks like
blood rule.
Yeah, blood rule has got a nasty nick behind his right ear. So we'll keep an eye on him.
Massey's taken his place. The Blues started with Massey, Favola, Houlihan and Doering on the bench. And Richmond started with Mills, Vardy, King and Hall.
Geez, Campbell looks a bit ginger here. He just doesn't know what he's doing there.
Who's that dip, sorry?
Campbell's got the ball. He got squashed under that pack, but he's okay.
Right.
He's okay now.
Well, the captain of the Richmond Football Club, Wayne Campbell, kicks the ball to within scoring range, but getting back is Porter, standing grandly as the key ruckman. Camporelli out wide. Houlihan leads in the race for the ball. The bounce was awkward. Andrew Callaway gathers. Back to Knights. Knights forced to kick with the right. Does well, though. Tivendale could kick a goal. Greg Tivendale goes bomb,
Richard!
bomb! Dropped it. He had it. Spent goal, whatever you like to say, Matthew Richardson. And he dropped the mark.
Oh, he's not happy, and it's a shame because it was set up for him. He had to sit. Manton's gone under the ball, lost it. And Richo just wasn't able to complete the effort, and he is pretty annoyed about it with it. But there'll be more chances.
Scores locked together, 1-3 apiece, close to the quarter-time break. The Blues have possession of the ball. It is Freeborn. Looks to run outside the defensive 50, goes in towards the half-back area. Dropping the mark was Massey. Richmond a chance now if it bounces. Tivendale. Tivendale goal! Richmond by 6.
Well, there you go. It just takes a simple turnover. Massey's a little bit of trouble after that incident there where he dropped the mark. I'm not sure what's wrong with here. It is Freeborn's indecisive. Most of his options are covered upfield. It was just a poor kick here. It was just in front. It would have worked all right.
I think he's broken his leg here, boys.
It doesn't look good for Massey there. As Tivendale mops up the loose ball. It's a great goal around the corner there. Fantastic skill.
It looks like he's broken his leg or something here. It's really nasty action here.
Yeah, well, I could see that when he couldn't take the mark and he went back, he was confronted, but he went down very, very awkwardly after he was tackled, and his leg looks as if it's got tangled with the Richmond player.
There was the tangled legs here, Robbo, as we see it. His right foot's planted firmly on the ground as they land, and ouch.
Wow.
Yeah.
Broderick. Poor Broderick. Yeah. Well, that's unfortunate, isn't it?
Oh, totally unfortunate, and it's just a... You don't want to put the onus back on Freeborn. Wasn't a great kick to him, and the situation, it's always unfortunate when you see that.
Just watching this little ambulance out here. It's the first time I've seen it, and I believe we've had trouble getting it out because there's been a problem where they get in and off the ground with this ambulance. But it's a terrific idea, I think, to get the player into the rooms to be attended as quickly as possible.
Absolutely, Robbo. It's probably a...
Can we see it again,
there
boys?
There it's cool. We don't like to see that.
I think it might be his ankle, right underneath the ankle. Huh?
It seems to be low down, Robbo. And, well, you just don't know in a game of football the situations you find yourself in, so it's very unfortunate for Chris.
The uncertainties and the vagaries of, well, just competitive sport, isn't it, in general, but our game with the oval ball, unpredictable, kick coming in a little awkward, player put in a slightly awkward position, confronted by his opponent, down he goes, and looks as if he may take no further part in this match. And from his point of view and the Carlton Football Club's point of view, let's hope it's not too serious.
Looks like Richardson coming from the ground now, boys, for a bit of a spell, and Ray Hall coming on to the Tigers. What the reason behind that would be? Fish?
Well, look, there's
a couple of minutes to go, maybe.
A couple minutes to go. His work rate has been extraordinary in the first quarter, Doug. And I think they'll be saying, well, we're going to need you over the next couple of quarters.
They're just giving a bit of a stretch on the boundary line here on Richo's back here, and I've noticed also Richardson too not wearing any strapping around his knees as well, which is a good sign for him. But let's hope the best for young Massey here.
At the bit of the ball, and he's had 4 kicks, 4 marks, Richo, and kicked 1 goal, 2. Could have been 3 goals. He missed a couple of pretty easy shots.
Carlton doctor Philip Pearlstein out there with Chris Massey, and he's now on that little, what would you call it, a portable ambulance, would he?
Yeah, it's
portable ambulance.
Certainly.
He's a bit of pain, the young fella, isn't he?
He is, Doug. That's a fair perception. Yep.
In the meantime, too, fellas, we've got Royce Barty's having his first run for the Tigers, and Mark Chaffee having a bit of a breather on the bench.
There's another thing that happens there. Chris Massey has just turned 21 on the 30th of May. He was a very high draft pick when he came to Carlton, and I think what probably happens there in the mind of, he's in the 22, he's consistently in the 22, and all of a sudden you strike an injury that looks as if it might be quite serious, which puts him behind the 8 ball once again.
Well, he's played every game, Fish, this year.
Oh, he's been good.
He's been good off a half-back flank.
He's been very good for the Blues, and it's a big loss to them because he plays tall, but he's a wonderful player. He can fill a lot of positions for the Blues. So, well, I hope the young fella bounces back. It's always a big challenge with a serious injury.
So Massey, who started on the bench, came on to take the place of Mansfield through the blood rule, is off the ground and play continues. The bounce at the centre, and Ratton tries to get it forward, does so fairly successfully to Lappin. Hilton dispossessed, confronted by Freeborn. Lappin tries to get it over the top. Hume is in the middle of the action. You don't break too many tackles today, Darren, in this football, and that was unsuccessful as well. The ball spills for Matthew Knights. Can he break away? Confronted by Hume, which was good. Bowden. Now they've found a path through there. Leon Cameron comes away with the football. Leon Cameron kicks to the goal square. At the back, Rogers. But just frustrating his efforts there was Manton. And the ball over for a boundary throw in right up against the behind post, deep in Richmond's full forward area. Tigers lead by 6 points.
Yeah, inside 50 here, Richmond 12, Carlton 7.
Well, they're under siege down there, the key defenders of the Blues, so there's got to be more push pressure across the midfield, give them a bit of a break.
Campbell to Lappin, out wide, Bradley and Duncan Callaway. Was that football still in? I don't think so. Very quickly onto the scene, the boundary umpire to indicate that he will throw it in.
It's like Brendan Bavola now has gone the full forward for Carlton, being picked up by Royce Barty.
Richmond doing quite nicely at just frustrating any attempts for the Blues to get any flow. And at this stage, only 3 goals kicked in the match. Porter doing the ruck work. Knights favoured by the tap out. Kick forward by Duncan Callaway. McKay and Ottens. Well, fellow South Australians in state of origin football, you would think, if we ever get that back. Both of those boys from across the border, Andrew McKay and Brad Ottens. Umpire will bounce about 52 metres from the Richmond goal.
Well, both sides doing their best to nullify the respective strengths of the sides. Richmond with its tools, particularly its forward tools, and Carlton with its midfield run through Ratton and Bradley and these sorts of players, Hawk, and doing a fairly effective job, Matty Knights in particular.
Yeah, Ratton's only had the 3 touches, Fish, so far in the game, and so he's been fairly quite well held at the stage where Duncan Callaway's had 3 touches as well. Some good desperate efforts there, firstly by Christou, and also his fellow defender there, Andrew McKay, but the umpire's found a free kick. It will go to Richmond. It might be Rogers, is it? No, Tivendale who's going to take the free kick.
Not beyond him the distance, Fish.
No, it's not actually, Hawk. I was just going to say he'd be pretty happy to go back and have a shot. He's a wonderful kick of the ball.
Ray Hall gave him a lead. Now into the pocket goes, well, he has to have a shot now because it is quarter time at the MCG. Very important match for the Tigers. Carlton going along quite nicely before this match. Tigers desperately need the 4 points. Tivendale right on the siren. Shot at goal. Oh, it's just been touched. Oh, there must have only been a fingernail in that. So a behind registered to Greg Tivendale. He's kicked 1 goal 1 in that Richmond score of 2 goals 4. Carlton just 1 goal 3. 7 points Richmond's lead at quarter time.
Well, a great opening quarter there by the Tigers. They've done everything their coach Daniel Frawley would have asked. In Steve Silvagni's 300th game, he's had 7 kicks and 3 marks. Well, Richmond by 7 points at quarter time. Well, we're back here, and over on the other side, Dipper's got Barry Mitchell, assistant coach for the Blues.
I certainly have, Paul. Now, very frustrating first quarter then, Bazza.
It was a bit dipper, yeah. I think both teams tend to get some players back, and at times we come out of our back half and not really have anyone to kick the ball to. So it wasn't a great start, but I mean, 3 quarters to go. Hopefully we can get it right from here on in.
And the matchups down forward for the Tigers are a bit short at the moment with Ottens and Richardson up there.
Yeah, they're pretty hard to counter, those guys. Richo's big and he's pretty fit and fast as well. So Bowie tried hard, and I think Manton's gone to him now. We'll see how we go.
Now you look after the centre line. You happy with that at the moment?
Oh, I think it could be better, Dipper, but you know, the way to go yet.
And a great day too for the Blues. Obviously, Saucer's 300.
Yeah, fantastic. He's been great, and hopefully we can have a win for him.
Good on you, Mitch. Thanks for joining us, mate.
It's interesting, Hawk. There, Barry Mitchell mentioned that Beaumont's been taken off Richardson in that quarter. Beaumont's been very good for them as a half-back, kicking goals already this year, hasn't he?
No doubt about that, Fish. Better suited there. A height advantage too with Manton, 185 centimetres to Richardson, 197.
Well, certainly the Blues, this is the player that they need to fire. That's Ratton, and sides over the last few weeks are aware that Ratton is a very important player. He's had 4 possessions. That kick forward came from Bradley and is well marked back there by Andrew Callaway. Goes short, taken by Campbell, back to Andrew Callaway. Still in their defensive half. Callaway's forced to bomb away, and Silvagni doing the defensive work, but at the fall of the ball is Tawney. Tawney's kick across his left shoulder, lands the ball at half forward, doing pretty well as Bowden, but that hand pass put Daffy under enormous pressure. Koutafidis has got to really get into this game if the Blues are to get the ball into their full forward area quickly, and on that occasion just a slight fumble has created a bounce situation.
Yeah, you're right, Robbo. Just a couple of uncharacteristic fumbles there by Cooter. He's dropped a mark and butted up again and fumbled a bit, but he's gone to Tivendale, which is an interesting matchup, and Silvagni's gone back onto Ottens, so a bit of sorry, that's Bowden.
Bowden may have Cooter on the ball there, Fish, at this stage.
Bradley and Knights. Daffy tackled by Beaumont, still got the ball. Umpire gives him the benefit of the doubt and will bounce. Pretty good day.
Yep.
You know, reasonably blue sky out there, and not a great deal of threat, I don't think, of rain, and the sun shining brightly on the MCG. Now the umpire obviously is trying to find a path for himself. All the discussion and conjecture about umpires being hit in the field of battle by players. Blues have got the ball to the half-forward line.
Well done.
Andrew Callaway out to Bowden. Bowden quickly onto his left boot. Blues outnumber here, but Knights is away from Bradley. Got the hand pass away. McKay did well to help out the skipper. McKay got back and then delivers towards centre wing. Houlihan to Ratton. This ball won't be wasted. It's kicked all the way to the full forward area. Back there, the crummers are needed, but there's no one there for the Blues. Andrew Callaway drops the ball. He's in underneath there, and eventually, surely, the umpire will call for a bounce.
Rob, I was just catching up with young Chris Massey. He's been taken to the hospital for x-rays. Looks like he might have a broken ankle, and that's why he was in so much pain there. So we'll find a little bit more about it tomorrow, but that's what news is down from the boundary.
Thanks, Dipper. That's terrible bad news.
Just watching here, Fish and Robbo. When Cooter goes forward, Gasper gets him, Bowden doesn't pick him up. But on the ball, certainly Bowden, as you said before, Fish, has got Cooter.
50 metres from the Carlton goal. Hume, he's broken his tackle, and his left foot snapshot at goal is going to go all the way, but offline and through for a behind. Darren Hume's first score.
He's pretty sharp around those stop play situations, is Darren Hume. He's a nice little compliment to the class of Ratton and Bradley there, and making a name for himself at the moment. He's one to be watched at those boundary throw-ins and ball-ups.
7 possessions, Fish, so far. Hume has been pretty good.
Cameron goes short to Andrew Callaway. Andrew Callaway in towards half-back. Marcus taken by Holland. Looking quickly to move it on. He can go out wide in the direction of Tawney, and that's the area that he kicks the ball to. Tawney is marked. He's got a few touches of the ball too, Jason Tawney. This is his 5th kick as ordinary. Kick is very ordinary. Blues are away here. Ratton, this is a goal. This is a goal from Camperelli, is it? No, it's not. In the finish, he was... Well, actually, Tawney did a good job there.
He did.
Because crossing over, Camperelli was a certainty.
I'm not sure Camperelli needed to bounce that, Robbo.
Kick out wide. Blues have got the situation where they outnumber. It was Hume and Koutafidis. Koutafidis into the pocket, and the mark is taken by Freeborn in front of Campbell.
Just watching here, boys. Silvagni's gone to centre half back, picking up Brad Ottens.
Koutafidis into the pocket and Lappin. Lappin has had 4 touches. This will be his 3rd kick. A couple of hand passes. Goes in short. A little overzealous there in his efforts trying to find Favola. Camporelli, he's in trouble. He's brought down heavily, Camporelli. Blues may get the ball out to Lappin. Handballs indiscriminately, just high in the air. Gathered by Bowden. Richmond doing well. Knights is back in the middle of the ground. He'll take the mark. He'll look to play on. There's 3 on 3 back there at the half-forward area for the Tigers. A great diving effort by Rogers away from Christou. Handball, wide still, Daffy. Daffy to hook the ball. Beautifully, Daffy.
Great kick.
Equally as efficient there, Nick Daffy, as Ratton was in the first quarter. And Richardson has marked 45 metres out directly in front.
Well, it's a quicker transition here that's killed the Blues. Richmond are getting time to get back and force some real numbers in their defensive 50. And here, Richardson had plenty of space forward up the corridor to make a lead. And what a great kick by Daffy.
Well, his 4th shot at goal, Matthew Richardson, and he has kicked his 2nd goal.
Well, there's certainly, you called that well there, Robbo, before, and there's well a few fishes to Daffy kick across his body here. You see Matthew Knights, he's had 8 touches, had a fair bit of football, a bit of pressure on at this stage. His opponent's Craig Bradley's had 7 touches as well. There's a handball across here to Daffy, who dropped that one. It was from Matty Rogers, but the screw kick from Daffy across his body to Matty Richardson, he's caused a lot of problems for Matt in this stage.
The Tigers captain is off the ground. Campbell looks like got blurred vision. We did mention he received a very hard knock in the first quarter, so we'll keep an eye on him.
Gee, that was a good tap for the Tigers by Brendan Gale, was it? At the centre bounce. They just weren't able to break away. Bowden was the recipient of the tap.
I tell you, one very impressive feature of the Tigers game today so far has been their intensity at these contests.
Yeah, they're switched on, Paul. There's no doubt about that.
Very switched on, mate. And Brendan Gale's leading the charge in the ruck against Porter.
Chance here for Beaumont. Squeezes a right footer out towards the wing. Good contest. Ratton in the van. Good hand pass to Hume. Gets back onto his right. Decides to hand pass to Koutafidis. He's well shepherded by Camporelli. Short kick is all right. Houlihan gathers. Just took Leon Cameron right through the contest there. Ratton in towards half forward. No mark. It goes through all the players and lands in a vacant area. And Brendan Gale was able to get back and gather to Darren Gaspar. And Gaspar's kick is okay. The mark is taken by Hilton. He looks to play on. Goes very wide. Daffy, Silvagni and Ottens eventually over on the full. So the free kick will go to Carlton because it obviously came off a Richmond boot.
Look, I know it's sometimes easy sitting up here and looking at the holes in the ground, but just some of the options that Carlton are choosing going forward haven't been the correct ones. There's been some alternatives on, but as I said, it's a little bit easier from where I'm sitting.
Lappin to Christou. Christou to Bomb from centre half back. Goes long and lands the ball at half forward. No crummers for the Blues. Lappin is a long way down the ground. He's usually there at those marking contests at half forward. McKay. And the infringing player is Broderick.
Well, I don't think the Richmond fans are going to be doing cartwheels over that decision there.
Whitnall also coming off there, boys. Hot and going on now.
It's been okay. Ben Holland done a pretty good job on Whitnall, only kicked the 1 goal.
It's Houlihan and Lappin that have got to, if they're going to bomb away like Christou did just a moment ago, those smaller forwards like Houlihan and Lappin, even Hume have got to get down around where the contest is.
Probably Hickmott as well too. You chuck in there, Robbo.
Well, it's McKay with the football. He's just inconvenienced a little bit by what looked to be an ankle injury. Was that a mark to Porter? I thought Koutafidis had first hands on it. And that's that was great, the mark.
We'll trying to make his mind up.
You'd like to have another look at that, Paul.
Well, either of them could have had it.
Porter to the full forward area. Duncan Callaway. Chance for the player who's just come on the ground in Houghton towards the forward pocket area. Koutafidis. And just accompanying him there was Joel Bowden. And it'll be thrown in.
I think Porter's stolen this mark a little bit. He's made a great effort to get across the contest. Kouta's had it. And Porter snatched it, so I think the umpire was a little bit undecided about who he was going to give it to. Boundary
throw in right deep in that forward pocket area for the Blues. And the umpire will call for another bounce. 3-4 to 1-4. Important thing here, is that Carlton, in about 35, 40 minutes of football, have only managed to kick 1 goal.
Richmond doing a fantastic job defensively, and if you might not be getting value on the scoreboard today, but we're getting value in a pure, hard, gritty, tough, tight sort of game of football. So enjoyable to watch, and you just think that it's got to burst open at some stage. One side's going to take full advantage of a little bit of lapse in concentration, maybe.
Lappin to do the roving. Back to Bradley. Bradley, flying shot at goal, hits the post. I know it's a long way from the final siren, but those sort of things, those sort of happenings early, when you're struggling, hit the post, sometimes give an indication.
Well, you look at the score, 3-4, 1-5, Carlton. So, yeah, and admittedly, Richo's missed a few sitters, a couple of sitters as well.
Absolutely, Fish.
Maybe a bit of a square up there, Doug.
Bowden short, and the mark taken here by Duncan Callaway. He goes short in turn. Taken by Clinton King. A high ball out towards the wing. Getting back was Freeborn, and knocking the ball clear was Hawkins. Tawney maybe a little stiff there. He was underneath the ball.
Yeah. Well, the player, the current player, didn't really have his eyes for the football on occasion. I think you're right there, Robert. Jason Tawney was going for the mark, and the current player ran straight at him.
Both coaches are really swinging the changes off the bench. Daffy's come off for Campbell, and we saw Hickmott's just come off the ground, and Doering has just come on to replace him.
Hickmott's only had the 4 touches. His opponent's been Andrew Callaway, and he's been very good. He's had 5 kicks, 3 handballs and 4 marks. I reckon a lot in this second quarter, matter of fact.
Doering onto the ground, as Paul Salmon mentioned, and Andrew Callaway quick to pick him up as we watch Leon Cameron and Duncan Callaway confront Brett Ratton. And still, it'd be interesting, you know, in a game of football where you see it quite stagnant like it is now, how many bounces we've had of the ball in general play compared to the similar stage of a game where it's wide open. Obviously, there's been a heck of a lot of congestion so far in this match.
No doubt, Robbo, about that. Looks like Mark Porter's gone forward for Carlton, picked up by Ben Holland. Done a great job on Lance Whitnall.
Campbell does well to get it to Clinton King.
Yeah, Doug, we've got Porter up there, also Kutafides and Favola. They're trying to stretch him at the moment.
Well, the infringement against the Richmond skipper has been rewarded with a free kick. Campbell goes short. Cameron has the football. Very good director of play. At the feet there of Brendan Gale, who did a pretty good job for a big bloke. In trouble. In a lot of trouble was Tivendale. Got the ball to Gaspar. Gaspar backs himself, runs away, kicks it in towards half forward. Camporelli, that kick off the boot must have been just touched as it flew through the air. Now the Tigers, Tawney, Knights, back onto the left, Matthew Knights. Chance here for Campbell, into the pocket. Ottens a little too high for that player. Right there is Hilton. The kick is going to roll through for a behind, thanks to the desperation of Ange Christou right on the goal line.
They just forced that forward. They kept the ball alive very well, the Tigers. Bobbed out to Matty Knights with some quick hands. And, well, just going after it. I mean, the boys out there, Richmond players, are putting a lot of pressure in the forward half and getting a few rewards for it.
Silvagni's kick is all right, and it's been taken here by Franchina. He's at left half back. He can go short towards the middle. Houlihan, then Kutafides. He in turn to Beaumont. Then Houlihan. They've got something. No, they've still got something. Maybe going. Houghton overruns it. Took his eye off the ball. Hall gathers. Handball wide. Campbell. Campbell to go forward. He looks and delivers. Silvagni is there. Defensive work exemplary there by Silvagni. Franchina dragged off the ball. Umpire allows play to go on. Tigers maintain possession. Ball with Rogers. Rogers across the half-forward line. Mark taken by Bradley. Bradley with 8 touches around the middle.
He stepped up in this quarter as Bradley, and well, the Carlton players are tightening up a little bit here.
Beaumont has the ball. He can go to the far side. And good gather by McKay, wasn't it? Because it was all important. The kick in towards half forward. And a good mark. A terrific mark taken by Gaspar. In front there of Favola. Stood his ground. It's not Gaspar, it's Ben Holland. And it was a great effort. Cameron kicks it well and kicks it long. Campbell is marked just behind centre wing. Campbell in towards half forward. The leading player is Ottens, and he's marked.
Great stretch.
Maybe too far out to score. The player on the mark is in excess of 60 metres from goal. Goes short. Good mark too, taken by Broderick. Provided the lead, but Paul Broderick maybe will be forced to go short. He does. Tivendale certainly within range.
It's been good, Tivendale. He's had 9 touches. He did right fish before. Carlton's had plenty of chances this quarter, gone inside 50 on 7 occasions. I need someone up forward to be able to take a mark. There's no one up there at the moment.
I'm just going to be slightly critical of Favola there. Last split second, you should know you're not going to take the grab. Bring it to ground.
Punch the ball.
Tivendale going for his second goal. And he's posted it by the look of it. No. 1 goal, 2 to Greg Tivendale. 2 goals, 2 to Matthew Richardson. Scoreline 3-6 to 1-5. Richmond lead by 13.
Gee, goals are a premium, aren't they? We've seen both sides waste a couple of opportunities, but if they start converting one of these times, they could really get a handy gap, particularly Richmond.
Manton accepts the kick from Silvagni. He goes short to Doering. Doering short again, and it's Beaumont. So 3 or 4 touches there for the Blues. Results in the football now at right half back.
Nothing coming off and Whitnall on.
Porter's working across now. He's got to do a lot of that.
Beaumont in towards the middle of the ground. Houlihan punched away there by Leon Cameron. Gets the ball back and then kicks with the left. Bullet-like pass. Hilton. Give it. He does now. Thanks to the promotion there of Doug Hawkins. Back unites. Gathers. Tried to get it to Hall. Went past that player. Broderick back to Hilton.
I reckon Houlihan's done
just messing around a little. Kick by Hilton in towards full forward. McKay overruns it. Very important here. Rogers! Oh! Goal to the Tigers!
What a wonderful goal. The Tigers have just been irresistible the way they just toughed it out in these situations. They've had a lot of luck in front of goal, but here we see there's a bit of bobbing around here. I mean, it wasn't the cleanest and purest of football, but just persistence, Doug, that paid off in the end. And we see it come forward. That was the correct decision at the correct time. Long, crumbing pack, and what balance there by Rogers. And luck's a fortune. It wasn't pretty. Got home.
This looks like 2 here, Fish and Robbo. Dipper may check on this. It looked like Ryan Houlihan left the ground. It could be
spot on, Doug. It looks like he's broken his hand or wrist or something, and it was off the ball instantly. The Shepherd, nothing in it, but one of those situations. So Carlton down to 2 on the bench.
And they trail by 19 points. Midfield is stymied at the moment. Well done there by Knights. Got it forward. Gathered Beaumont. A little bit too fierce for Mansfield. Daffy had the ball, handballed it away for him himself, and he's been penalised. Clinton King, was it?
I think it was King, I think it was King on that occasion, Robbo.
Mansfield, the recipient of the free kick. They persist in going short. Silvagni being called to play on now, and he's coughed it up. Straight to Broderick, he can go short. Gee, that was very good perception of the play there by Andrew Callaway. Handball back, Chaffee, kick smothered. Andrew Callaway still a chance. Clinton King's a big chance. Clinton King's left foot kick towards the goal square. No mark. Christou, Rogers. Back there is Hawkins. That's how badly the Blues are going. There is so much indecision back there, it's not funny. But the umpire had found a free kick before that to Christou.
They're under a lot of pressure, Robbo. The Tigers are really putting it on them down there. And if the Tigers are any cleaner, they'd be further in front.
Beaumont's kick towards the wing. Koutafidis has taken a one-hander. Handball, Miss Camporelli. Hume, back to Koutafidis. Koutafidis into the middle, Bradley. No one there. They outnumbered the Tigers about 6-1, 6-2, 6-3 back there in their defensive half. Out wide the kick goes, and a good courageous mark is taken by Hume.
Well, Porter's got to be the one down there, Robbo. We mentioned he's gone forward. He's going to be that leading option. The bloke can take the mark down there for him.
He's not a natural centre-forward with his running patterns at the moment. He's running away a bit from it and not up to it.
The kick lands the ball at half forward. Crummer's needed, but by gee, it's congested, isn't it? Hickmott tries to get the ball clear of the pack of about 7 or 8 players. Unsuccessful, umpire will bounce.
Robbo, just on the boundary line, you can just see the Richmond players just scouting the packs better, their ball handling's better, and their skill level around the ground. It's working in numbers.
I tell you what, if I said to you, Fish and Robbo, at the start of this game, in perfect conditions, that Carlton had 1 goal half time, you'd call me an absolute lunatic.
No doubt about that.
Unbelievable.
Because it's not a score that wins games. Lappin might get there second.
Oh, second.
And Lappin has kicked a left foot snap goal.
Well, truth be known, Doug, I would have called you out regardless if you tell me. Carlton only kicked 1 goal.
We might get 2 now, Fish.
Well, that's just what the doctor ordered for Carlton. I know that's an understatement, Robbo, but...
The thing is, Paul, that while the scores are so low, the Blues are never out of the game.
No, they're not.
I mean, Richmond have controlled the game, but they only lead by 13 points. Lappin, the goal kicker. It was a lovely left foot snap by Matthew Lappin. Very necessary goal to the Blues. And Houlihan, you can see there, his left hand being strapped, so obviously no break there. We'll get an update from Dipper as quickly as we can on Ryan Houlihan, but it looks as if he may be able to come back onto the ground. Ratton gets the ball away and kicked forward by Mansfield. Strong mark, wasn't it? Yeah. He's a hard man to beat, Darren Gasper.
Tremendous. Cooters should have probably spoiled that again. Bring it to ground.
Got Campbell loose.
Yes, he goes in that direction. It's a bit of an up and under. Mansfield late. Oh! Campbell takes the mark to Hilton. Hilton towards half forward. Judge better. Spectacular mark by Silvagni. Short. All right, McKay can go over the top. Player in support was Darren Hume. Lappin running now. Lappin running. Lappin goes for goal. Hickbox at the back. Couldn't take the mark. Had the leap, but couldn't take it.
Who had a paddock out there, Doug? Was that Whitnall?
Lance Whitnall. Fisher caught it beautifully there. He was on his own. He was probably 40 metres clear of a Richmond player. And I think it was Hume was the player came in forward and just kicked it blindly.
Thanks, Doug. i7sport.com.au. I know where I'll be at 7:30 tonight. I'll be having a chat with Dermot, who's on the chat line.
Well, here's a chance. Whitnall, snapshot, high, goal line, behind.
What did you say? Have a chat with Dermot if you're talking about himself, mate. you won't get a chance to talk to him on the internet there.
He'll say, I won't answer that. It wasn't about me.
Only 2 goals in this match. Richmond lead. Short kick taken there by Campbell. Got the ball away to Holland. Porter nearly took the football with him. He goes in again. He's still there. Well done.
Yeah,
Didn't he do a good job for a big fellow? In there is Camporelli. Tackled well. Porter. Short kick fortuitously for the Blues. Lands in the arms of Hume. Hume goes across the middle of the ground. Taken by Bradley. Too far out to score. He could go into the pocket. Is that Bowler? Bowler, isn't it? Oh. He's going to go for the top. He's going to go for the ball. Oh. He's going to give it a goal. Bradley.
I love that. I love seeing the big bomb from outside 50. I don't know, Doug. That's going to give the Blues a big lift. They all come to Bradley. And they've done the right thing here. Beaumont was on his own, had a paddock in the goal square. He's ended up doing the right thing shepherding, but look at this. Craig Bradley's gone back, had the gratuitous look around. He knew what he wanted to do, and he's laid onto it. That's fantastic footy. And as Robbo said, the Blues haven't been out of it, yet they should have been.
Gee, it was a big kick.
That's gone
inside
70,
the
Robbo.
square, and it passed the goal line.
37 years old. Give him 9 points for those kicks, I reckon, outside 50. That'll break the flood.
He'll play another 5 years after that one.
Well, it was a magnificent kick, wasn't it?
Oh, ripper.
Rory Hilton from just hacking it out of mid-air. Contest. Ratton couldn't break away. He's been frustrated, hasn't he, Brett Ratton? Knocks it clear now, but only as far as Hilton. His hand pass goes to Tivendale. Tivendale into the pocket, punched away by Christou. They're defending grandly. Both sides are playing grand football in defence. Manton, Beaumont, Camporelli in strife, able to squeeze a kick out wide. Lappin from behind. Where are the Crummers? They're there. Hume to Porter. Porter stands, delivers to the goal front. Mark takes
it's a free kick.
It's a free kick. Well, the umpire was very much on the scene.
He was there. It was a 1 out, 50-50. It's called actually Whitnall's lost his footing, and it might have exposed, we'll look at the replay, may have exposed Holland's holding of a jumper, but it wouldn't have been much in it. And there's a turning of the tide here, Doug.
Well, we level the scores here. Fisher kicks this goal, Lance Whitnall. I'd love to see this one again, which we will very shortly. Umpire's in a good spot.
Yeah, well, amazingly, Carlton have never been out of this game. Richmond have been all over them.
Whitnall goes for goal, and he's popped it through. Whitnall has kicked 2. and scores a level 4-6 apiece.
I told Danny Frawley would be totally... There it is. There's a... Oh, well.
Not there, was it?
I couldn't see a lot there, but the umpires are much closer to it than we are, and he's found something. But amazing, Richmond will be a little bit frustrated. It'll be interesting to see them. This will test them. How do they handle this situation? Scores a level, and if justice was done, they shouldn't be.
Under 2 minutes left, and a controversial free kick to Lance Whitnall. He converted, kicked the goal, and the score's a level. 4 goals, 6 apiece. Ball comes to Ratton. Bradley quickly onto his right boot to half forward. Mark taken by Brendan Gale. Kudafiti's a little late.
He's gone back to be the loose man in defence, Brendan Gale, and he does that job very, very well. Shut down for the last couple of minutes of the quarter.
Contest at half forward. Gathered by Houghton. Long hand pass. Hickmott. Little one. Okay, Lappin can kick his second goal in 6 minutes. Lappin misses to the near side and scores a behind.
Doug, do you think the Tigers are a little bit rattled at the minute?
Well, I think they are, Fish, and where they're getting beaten at the moment, it's in the centre bounce. Bradley's starting to win the ball out of the centre. But was it Kudafiti's gone into the ruck at this stage?
Could be, because very much in the action.
Yeah, hasn't he?
Kudafiti's has had 7 touches in this second term.
Been good.
How often do we see him go into the middle and be influential in the changing of a game's pattern?
Yep. Silvagni's had 13 kicks and 8 marks. Kick out wide, Knights. Gee, that was a terrific tap by Brendan Gale, wasn't it? They're in trouble. They're in strife. Tackled from behind. It's got to be a free kick to the Blues, doesn't it? Play goes on. Ratton's kick will land. No, it's been well marked back there by Leon Cameron.
The thing is here, the Tigers need to settle it down. They're all still running, trying to provide options, but...
Who's the bloke out there on his own? Is that Hilton?
Yeah, Rory Hilton. Yeah, on his own, on the wing.
Gee, if they could get the ball to him, he's got acres to spare. The ball spills to the back. Silvagni, Brendan Gale, still Stephen Silvagni. Knocks it on, he's thrown the ball. Scooped the ball in the air, so that's a free kick to the Tigers.
He's had 300 games to practice that one, Robbo. Still can't get it right.
Short kick is just ordinary, but gathered here by Tivendale. Into the pocket, isn't that a good kick? At the face of Matthew Richardson, nothing much that Glenn Manton could do there.
If there's any justice in football, Doug, Richmond should go in at half-time in front, but we know there's not much.
No, you're right. Only 10 seconds to go here, boys.
Well,
we got on goal.
As it did at quarter time, when the siren sounded, we might have a similar situation at the long break. Right on the half-time siren, there it is. Matthew Richardson, maybe to put Richmond in front at half-time. It's a beautiful kick by Matthew Richardson. I would say that's a goal. Tigers in front.
What a way to finish the quarter. Half-time. And the Tigers, the late goal to Richardson there, have snatched back the lead by 5 points. And the Tigers go in with their backs up into the rooms, and they'll be pretty happy with the finish. They've just settled enough.
Yeah, sorry, Fitch.
What's going on there, Doug?
Watching Danny Frawley had a few words to someone as he's coming down the stairs there, Fish.
Well, it's a bit heated.
Yep.
We've seen that before, and security brought into question. So Danny Frawley will be feeling the frustration of a Carlton comeback in that second quarter. But at half-time, Richmond go in 5 points up over the Blues. Welcome back to the MCG, and there must be pretty close to 70,000 people here enjoying what has been a very good contest in the first half on the day of Stephen Silvagni's 300th match. And down on the boundary, one of the greats of football, Robert Dipierdomenico. What do you see down there, mate?
Well, I see that there's more than 70,000 people there, Fish. I reckon it's close to 80,000, and what a terrific comeback by the Blues there. At one stage there, halfway through that second quarter, I said that the way that Richmond was scouting the packs around the ground, then all of a sudden the Blues certainly found some form around that area. I saw Lappin kick that terrific goal. But I still reckon Richmond at the moment has got the advantage of the forward line with Ottens up there, and of course with Richardson. Both of those guys meant to take their marks, and I reckon that'll stretch the Blues. But of course, every game is won in the middle, Fish, as you should know.
Yes.
And the Dougie knows there too. And Robbo, where'd you play, Robbo, in the half-forward line?
Winger,
brilliant wingman he was.
Fed Jezelenko the year he kicked 120 goals, Dipper.
Well, I just reckon by to see what the moves have been made here by the boys. I see Richo going to full forward. Ottens is still there for the Tigers, and they're certainly going to stretch. Well, Silvagni's now going back there as well, so it'll be interesting to see Silvagni on Ottens there. There you are, boys. There's a scoop for you.
Dipper, they've only got 2 players on the interchange bench, the Blues. Massey was hurt.
Yeah, Massey looks like he's got a broken ankle, Robbo, and I've just got a feeling that Ryan Houlihan, as I'm looking at the bench now, is on the ground there somewhere. Or maybe he's not. I'll keep up to date with that, but at one stage he hurt his wrist. Could be broken.
Thanks, Dipper.
So the third quarter underway, and the Blues through Beaumont, not able to break away. The tackle was quite effective there, and the umpire to start it once again.
Yeah, once again here, Fish and Robbo. I think Dipper may have mentioned this. Cooter started forward. Gasper will get him, but when he goes on the ball, Joel Bowden has got the job on him.
Porter gets left hand to it. Backing into trouble there is Rory Hilton. Well tackled by Beaumont.
Just a quick update there, boys. Sorry, Houlihan's in hospital as well, getting x-rays on his wrist too. So definitely down to 2 on the bench here for the Blues.
Well, if that's the case, then you would think that there is obviously a very serious injury to both of those boys. So the Blues down to just a couple of players on the interchange bench, and it just might come to the circumstances where the more flexible bench to be utilised by the Richmond coaching staff might get them over the line.
Robbo, at Carlton, what's his quarter named, the third quarter?
I think it's the premiership quarter, isn't it, Doug?
That's the way it was at Carlton?
I think it's been known as for a long time, but I think all teams now realise that, especially in a tight contest.
Did Carlton claim that one, did they?
I think they did. Robbo, did you?
The football is with Michael Mansfield, and he does well to try and get the ball to McKay. Franchina to provide a bit of pressure. Ball spills out wide. Opportunity now is with Bowden, bouncing away from Joel Bowden. Gets his kick to it though, kicks it back towards the centre, and the mark is taken by Darren Hume away from Ottens. There's the tall and the short, isn't there?
It certainly is. It's well read through the air by Hume, but the game has opened up in this third quarter. Pretty similar. Interception to the first half.
Still a chance for the Blues. Ratton not able to tap it to his own advantage. Duncan Callaway does well. Chaffey, now Campbell to the approaching the forward 50, finds space, then kicks it high in towards full foot. Richmond mark, no. At the fall of the ball, Bowden, handball Tivendale, snapshot at goal. Looks pretty good. Tivendale again.
Well, that's a fantastic goal, that. Tremendous goal. And Campbell probably held it for too long because there were some options presenting themselves, but when it finally did come in, we see Campbell with possession outside 50. He's taken a bounce. There's some off to his left there. Had a shot, sat it high, and that was Bowden. He's worked well to the front of the pack there and fed it out. That was fantastic football there. And Tivendale's finished. That would be Tivendale's second goal.
Second goal, Fitch. He's had 13 touches now with the 4 marks.
Been a good player.
Yeah, but all started by Richardson just making the effort to push the ball down from that marking duel there.
That was right in front of you, Dipper, wasn't it? That was Trent Houghton, I think. Ratton looks for Hickmott. Ball spills through the congestion there. Daffy's kick across his left shoulder. Gathered. Well gathered by Ottens. Silvagni the tackler. Gee, that's absolute rubbish. That should have been play on. The tackle was all right, but Ottens shouldn't have been penalised. Silvagni to Camporelli. Camporelli across the half-back line. Manton has the football. Manton goes very wide. Franchina. Can he gather the ball? Knocks it to his own advantage. Well done, Hilton, but Franchina was able to get the hand pass away. Christou squeezes the kick high over his right shoulder in towards half forward. Mark is taken by Brendan Gale. Richmond doing most things right. Just for about 6 minutes in the second term, when the Blues kicked 3 goals, Richmond have controlled this game. The ball spills to the back of the pack. Knights flicks it clear. Now the ball falls into the hands of Bradley. Bradley's left foot kick to half forward. Kutafides taken to the ground. Gathered here by Hume. Back he goes to Hickmott. He did a little bit of an airy. He stubbed his toe on the ground. Very important. Hollander's confronted. Camporelli, Kutafides. Ball comes out now to Chaffey. Chaffey goes wide and Porter does well. Chipping into
Go for home.
Porter goes for goal. It won't have the carry. Brendan Gale is back there and has taken the mark. Goes short and Richmond control it. Gasper now with the football. Bit of an up and under. Out towards the wing. Good mark though, wasn't it?
Great mark.
An excellent mark taken by Chaffee.
Had a good year, any Chaffee. Been
Played
coming
well.
out back line.
Houghton's no slouch in that area either. He's put on a
Good
really fair
overhand.
contest. Good grab.
Kick by Chaffee. Confusion there between McKay and Koutafidis. Knights has the football and shrugs all tackles and all attempts to dispossess him. Gets the ball to Tivendale. Tivendale into the pocket, and that's okay, and Richardson's dropped another mark. He's been out a few weeks, Matthew Richardson, just finding it difficult on occasions to grab hold of those marks.
Well, he's run about 60 metres there to be on the end of that. There's no question his work rate towards the ball. He always presents himself very well, but sometimes the finishing, with tickling, you might be a bit rusty, Robbo. It can be pretty tough.
Ratton to Camporelli. Camporelli looked for Franchina. Richmond are hard at it, aren't they? They're keeping the pressure right on. Watch this Franchina in on Duncan Callaway. And eventually Ratton. And it might be Paul Broderick in there as well. The umpire will call for a bounce.
Funny note, just gives the appearance that Richmond are showing a little bit more composure, which is a bit surprising because a lot of experience in the Carlton lineup.
I think you're right there, Fish, and just that tackle from Matthew Knight had a very good game so far. He's got Craig Bradley. Bradley's had the 13 touches now, and so has Matty Knight. But 3 tackles and Knights have been terrific tackles.
So the bounce of the ball at right half forward favouring the Tigers. Callaway takes it out of the air, but Ratton eventually gets the football, kicks the Blues forward in the direction of Koutafidis and Gasper. Gasper falls over. Koutafidis, well confronted by Leon Cameron. That was an important confrontation by Cameron because it opened up a little bit there for Tivendale. To Duncan Callaway, to Campbell. Campbell into the pocket. Not a very good kick for the forward. Back go the Blues. They're under pressure. Beaumont keeps it in and then kicks it back towards half-back. No one home for Carlton. Gale stands his ground and he's been paid a free kick, I would have thought.
Well, it's not a mark, Rob, I don't think.
He's been good, Brendan Gale.
Across the full forward line. Sits the ball up. Mansfield knocks it down. Intended maybe for McKay. Daffy. A high kick into the goal square. The mark has been taken by Hilton.
Joe, I tell you what, it doesn't matter how predictable Richmond are coming in terms of always trying to spot up Richardson when they're going forward. It is creating a situation, Hawk, where the Richmond ground level players are getting front and square, getting numbers to that contest, and they're sometimes making something out of nothing like this.
I think you're right, Fish. You hit it on the head there. Midfielders, particularly Knight. Wayne Campbell has been outstanding. I reckon he's been terrific. Campbell's had 18 touches now and 5 marks.
Richmond by 17.
Well, I'll tell you what, this is a critical gap being put in the game between these two teams. You know how hard Carlton had to work to get themselves back into it in that second quarter. And really, unless some of their guns stand up, as we see this high ball come in, there's that contest. Richardson's under it, comes to ground, which is all you want from your forward if he's not in a marking position. And Hilton, no one went with him there. Silvagni's held out of the contest. But Carlton have really got to get this next ball out of the middle and get it forward quickly. Get a quick answer now.
Well, Robbo, Freeborn had the job on Roy Hilton. He's been taken from the ground now to have a bit of a spell, just a bit of a freshen up.
And Jordan Doering is back into the fray for the Blues. Brendan Gale doing a good job for Richmond, being asked to ruck, which frees up the players downfield, putting the Carlton defence under enormous pressure. Hickmott, good confrontation there on Tawney. Ratton kicks it forward. One-on-one down here at full forward. Whitnall still at the fall of the ball. Lappin. Can he squeeze a goal out of this? Oh, this is a top shot at goal. But he's hooked it a little bit too far. Matthew Lappin. 1 goal, 2 against his name. Back to 16 points the margin.
Very good in that situation, Lappin. And I didn't think there was anything wrong with that forward foray there because gave Whitnall a one-on-one opportunity and he was able to keep the ball, keep control, keep it in front of him and feed it to Lappin, who had half a chance. And just a bit left of the goalpost.
Cameron being asked to hurry the kick in, and he's messed it up a little bit. Camporelli off the side of his boot. Oh, McKay streaming forward, can give the hand pass away. Still a chance for the Blues. Darren Hume out wide. Shot at goal by Franchina. It looks pretty good. It might be a Carlton goal though. He's missed to the right.
Oh dear. Geez, you just need to nail that. It's putting a lot of pressure on the board, but he had plenty of time, plenty of space, Doug, and just wasn't able to complete. Well, a critical goal.
You're dead right, Fish. They both had 13 scoring shots, so you're right. Carlton had plenty of hope, but I think the man you mentioned before, Robbo, Brendan Gale's been terrific.
This is a good mark here to Andrew Callaway in front of Beaumont. Very important. That ball from Cameron coming in was just holding up ever so slightly, but Andrew Callaway stood his ground and took a good mark. No one really to kick to, so he goes short. Tivendale, possession number 16 to Greg Tivendale. Good spotting too. Great kick. Bound to kick a goal. Doesn't quite hit it hardly enough. Spectacular leap, Richardson. Force it through, maybe Mansfield. No, they played, no, Manton even. I thought Manton was prepared there to maybe clear the full-back line, but he concedes a behind to Richmond.
Well, he did the right thing there, Glenn Manton. There's nothing in the rule book that says you can't do that. And, well, the Blues are really defending grimly early in this third term.
Doering takes the ball from Camporelli. Doering's kick is all right. Hume. Who's Hume got to deliver the ball to? Porter. Gee, it was a top effort there by young Ben Holland.
He's been good, Holland.
Strong, wasn't he? Kicks the ball towards half forward. Contest here, Christou under pressure. The ball flipped out the back. Umpires found a free kick. It'll go to the Blues, and it'll be taken by Ange Christou.
Yeah, Rogers just pulled him up a little bit off the ball there, and it doesn't take much.
Camporelli out wide. Kudafides at the back. Couldn't control the football, and it spills over for a throw-in. Next goal important. Blues trail by 16.
Next goal critical for the Blues, I think, Robbo, in the context of this game. It's not high scoring, and Richmond are looking very ominous the way they're going about their footy at the minute.
Knights, handball over the top, pretty good. Cameron, will he get run down? No, he'll get the kick away, and he'll get it fairly efficiently too. At the feet there of Bowden. Handball is good. Tawney from the middle of the ground puts Richmond into scoring range. All the way to full forward. Mansfield, very well done. Doering, Franchina, a couple of the younger players for the Blues. Bradley chops it off. He's got to deliver this. He does wide. Lappin can go short to Camporelli. Decides to go long. Kicks in straight at the Richmond player. And that player is Brendan Gale. He's marked across half-back, and he's played some sort of a game, Brendan Gale.
He's marking his turf down there, isn't he, with the dropping back across half-back.
Out wide, still Richmond a chance. Chaffey, vision all right. Campbell was there in support. Goes into the pocket, and the mark is taken down there by Rogers.
Richardson off, boys. Looks like he's done his hamstring again. Ray Hall on.
Yeah, didn't look good, Dipper.
Rogers, who kicked the goal in the second term. Richmond enjoy a 16-point advantage. Rogers could make it 22. To Ottens. A spectacular leap on the goal line.
Silvagni's hurt his hand here.
Silvagni's in trouble.
Yep. How's the mark?
Fourth mark to Brad Ottens. Just his fifth kick coming up, but it might be a very important kick here because it could stretch the margin to 22 points, which will be the greatest margin between these two teams so far.
Geez, I tell you what, he's carried a lot of injuries in his career, Steve Silvagni. This one looks like it's biting pretty hard. Might have got one of the funny bones. Sometimes you get a bit of dead arm. Hopefully that's all it is.
Tight angle, boys.
The ball will get stuck between the goalposts here, won't it?
Not a lot of daylight.
Brad Ottens, he can run all the way up to Glenn Manton. And he does, and he kicks the goal. 22 points Richmond lead.
Well, I'll tell you what, Doug, I'm looking forward to seeing that mark on replay because I was up there with him for a second.
It was a ripper, fair dinkum.
This is great football action. Have a look at this high ball come to the goal square. Just track the ball. Great vision all the way, and look at that. Just sat him. Glenn Manton was just like one of those big lounge chairs there.
Was he what? He said, where'd this bloke come from?
Exciting football.
Oh, ripper mark.
Well, that was Wayne Carey-esque, wasn't it?
Brilliant.
Running back with the flight of the ball and keeping his eye on a Brad Ottens mark and goal.
Well, this has been a danger period for the last 5 minutes. Carlton really need the next goal. Really need it.
Haven't kicked a goal in this term so far, the Blues. Richmond have added 3. Hume, retarded. Still got the football. Then he got the hand pass away. Still a chance for the Blues. Camporelli's been very quiet. Back to Hume. When I say quiet, his effectiveness has been nowhere near. What a desperate dive there. Oh, that was tremendous stuff. It may have come from Cameron, was it? It was so important that that interception was effective. I hope we can have another look at this stuff.
Andrew Callaway, I think it was, Robbo.
Terrific stuff.
Yeah, terrific play. Here he goes.
Look at that.
A. Callaway.
Well,
Best and first last year.
that exemplifies the way the Tigers have played their football this afternoon. Bounce of the ball 50 metres from the Carlton goal. Porter a big punch. Towards half forward, where the Crummers are. Chance here for Bradley. Why do they keep expecting the 37-year-old? The goal is unattended. The ball bounces away from the behind post and out of bounds.
Well, they're peppering from unrealistic positions, and that's due to the pressure that Richmond's putting on the Carlton players. And they're looking up and finding very few options forward at the moment. And, well, that toll of a couple of injured players will really take its toll as the game wears on, because Richmond's legs, well, they just look so strong at the minute.
They got the ball away from the full-back line. McKay back into the path of Mansfield. Important there, Mansfield. Bang a goal, Mansfield has missed. Michael, Mansfield's first score are behind, 8-7 to 4-10. Still, the fact that it's a low-scoring game keeps the Blues in it, but they have failed to score a goal in this term. Short kick in is all right, Cameron.
Well, the Blues are falling down. They're not getting enough run from behind through midfield and giving their forwards a genuine opportunity.
Tawney, Chaffey goes long, and all of a sudden the Tigers are in their forward half, and Matthew Knights has taken the mark. They're only 2 kicks from scoring another goal to create a gap of 27 points, and we've got 9 minutes left in the third term. They maintain possession of the ball. It's Broderick.
Knights has bounced back pretty well today so far. He's had 15 touches.
Broderick into the middle. Chaffey back to Brendan Gale. Brendan Gale short. No mark. The crumbs could be gathered here by the Blues. Now, what can they manufacture out of this? Franchina's kick goes wide, and that's a mark. Courageous effort there by Favola.
Yep.
He's been dumped by Andrew Callaway. Nothing nasty in that. I thought that Andrew Callaway had to make a contest, which he did. Maybe a fraction late, but Favola will take the kick.
No problem with the objects, the ball there. I think Callaway was committed to the contest, no question about it. And, well, you've got to let your opponent know that occasionally you have to earn it, won't you, Doug?
It's a gutsy effort by Favola. I don't know about that.
Quickly got the ball off to Christou. The kick went forward. Brendan Gale has played one of the best games I've seen him play. Darren Gaspar, still Gaspar goes and then kicks it out on the full, does he? And Manton will take the free kick. The Blues are in the game, but they can't score a goal.
Well, you mentioned Brendan Gale there. If you're not going to drop someone back to play on him, he will just cause a lot of heartache for the Blues down there, allowed to roam around and do his own thing.
Camporelli with no one to go to.
Silvagni wide.
They haven't gone forward all that much. Favola's kick in towards half forward, and a great grab. That ball came in with quite a amount of ferocity there, and Whitnall judged it well and took the mark on his chest.
Well, if this was a diving competition and you had to look at the degree of difficulty of that mark, we'd appreciate it. Rob, as you said, it wasn't easy. It was floating way off to the left, and Whitnall's there just snatched it. That's a fine mark from a highly skilled and highly talented player.
Porter off. Hotton on. Gale's been in complete control this game.
Whitnall's got to kick this goal. He goes back and does what the good forwards do and kicks his third.
That's great leadership qualities, Doug Hawkins, isn't it?
Absolutely.
He's bouncing space from nowhere there and kicking from outside 50 at the time when they critically needed it. They're on life support there for a while, Carlton.
No doubt about that, Fish. And I think Robbo mentioned in the preview of the game how important Silvagni was down at full forward. Just take that bit of pressure away from Whitnall. Now with Silvagni and half back, the pressure's back on Lance. He's a lone hand down there at the moment.
Well, Coot has gone into the ruck.
Bad fumble up here in the commentary box too, Paul.
We're all ducking for cover. Porter's gone off to have a rest, and Coot has gone on the ball. Should be interesting to see how he handles it. Hotton's up against him.
So the bounce of the ball, and Hotton doing the ruck work. At the fall of the ball, Mansfield taken by Tivendale. A little high, maybe a little lucky there, the Blues. Camporelli, the recipient of the hand pass, goes out very wide. Chance here for Favola. knocks the ball to his own advantage, keeps it in play. Lappin back to Favola. He's kept it alive pretty well. Left foot kicker towards full forward. Ratton's a chance. Still a chance for the Blues. Hickmott, Whitnall, Whitnall, Whitnall! Oh, the goal of the year! The goal of the year! It's come from nowhere! This is unbelievable!
I couldn't agree more with you, Robbo. That was a beauty.
4 goals to Lance Whitnall, but you've got to see this to believe it.
Oh dear. When you need a spark, you just have to go to Lance Whitnall. Look at this. Something out of nothing, Robbo.
Well, the young gunner's delivered. Lance Whitnall, his 4th goal, has given the Blues another sniff of this game. They trail by 9.
Looks like Andrew Callaway's gone over him now. Ben Holland, I thought, was doing a good job.
Centre clearances. Well, Richmond get this one. It goes in the direction of Ottens. Silvagni, is he infringed? Back after it he goes. Bradley, Mansfield. Doering waiting for it. It's going to come to Lappin, gathered by Hickmott. It was an ever slight possession. Whitnall, Ratton to Hume. Hume's little kick is good. And Favola has marked. Favola has been an ignition of this last 5 or 6 minutes as well.
Oh, it's been tremendous football. Carlton were on life support only 5 minutes ago, and 2 goals to Whitnall. There's a good contest there again by Whitnall. Brought it forward. Ratton stayed down, fed it off to Hume, and a great skill right out in front of Favola. And this kid can roost a football. Not beyond him.
Hume with 6 possessions in this term has been good as well.
Camperelli's had 8.
Favola's got to kick this goal. This is what you get paid for. He goes back and kicks it behind. Crunch time for the Blues. 8 points the margin in favour of the Tigers.
The only frustration, Doug, that Danny Frawley might have in this game is the fact that late in both the last quarter and this one, Carlton bitten back, and just Richmond have opened the door a little bit.
Yeah, they've dropped off fish, no doubt about that.
Cameron kicks into a disputed situation at half forward. Camperelli's got Tivendale. Was that a little high? It may have been. That's the way the umpire has seen it. Camperelli doesn't like the decision, but it's a free kick to the Tigers to be taken by Tivendale. Goes back to Andrew Callaway. He steadies. Kicks it outside his defensive 50. Chaffee has the ball. Lobs the ball high towards centre wing. The mark is taken by Koutafidis. Goes in short, and it's knocked away there by King. It was a little overzealous, maybe, trying to find Camperelli.
i7sport.com.au, and I tell you what, if you're looking for some hot tips, log on each week because there's some real guns tipping some real winners, and Dipper's one of them.
Only 8 points the margin. It was 27 at one stage.
I'm going all right this week too. I picked 1.
Wait till Mundine gets hold of you, Dipper.
Blues have added 2 goals in this term. Richmond have added 3. It may have been only 22 points the margin enjoyed by the Tigers. Matthew Knights tries to force it forward. Lappin, little kick by Matthew Lappin. That's a little overzealous as well. Koutafidis was right on the boundary line, and he did have an opponent maybe just a little too keen there, Matthew Lappin, to give it to Koutafidis.
Yeah, Carlton do it quite well. They drop a sweeper off these set plays, stop plays, and there's one now, Hickmott, out the back.
Hickmott kicks it forward. Marking contest. Where are the crummers now? It'll be taken by Holland. Hickmott to try and just provide a contest. Bowden's kick smothered off the boot. Gathered by Camperelli. Into the pocket. Mark has been taken. No, dropped it. Hickmott grabbed. Didn't have the football. He's still got it though. Bradley, well tackled. Thrown to the ground. Might go. No. Umpire's found one now. It'll go to Campbell. Be careful, Ben Holland, he says, because we've got the ball. Now it's been reversed, is it? No, it's not. Campbell will take it for Richmond.
So it was like 10-pin bowling out there. It's really headed up.
Doering and Daffy.
Well, there's a fair bit of spunk in this game, Doug.
I think he's reported a player, has he?
Well,
he's reported
Daffy one. Yeah.
Well, look out.
Well, that tells the story, doesn't it? Daffy having to go off through the blood rule. And he's going to take the free kick, is he?
Well, he can't take the free kick.
No, just go over the other side there. Just
He's got to take the shortest route to the boundary.
And there's a 50-metre penalty against Jordan Doering.
Yep.
The free kick was with Campbell, right back in that left-back pocket. And the 50-metre penalty has brought the ball. Hey, buy some real estate off this bloke.
That's 80 metres, Robbo. That's 80.
It's got to be 80.
Oh, goodness me.
Right on the wing now, the football with Wayne Campbell.
No backward steps been taken in this quarter. And we're into time on, well into it.
8 points the margin. 4 minutes left in the term. Campbell goes short. Just to keep possession of the ball, he finds Bowden.
Got to settle down now, both sides. Settle down.
Bowden deep into the pocket. There's a player on his own. Camporelli on Andrew Kellaway. And he ran with his eyes right on the player and not the football. So Camporelli has been penalised.
Interesting one, that one. You're quite right. Didn't have the eyes on the foot. He's not happy because he feels he didn't make a lot of contact with the Richmond player in Kellaway.
Important now that the Blues have got back to within range of the Tigers, that they just hold the Tiger machine up. Tigers through Andrew Kellaway. Kick the full forward mark taken by Whitnall. Looking to play on. Gets it to Bradley. Bradley can run away from full back. Camporelli, can he steady and kick cleanly? He can. And the marker's taken there by Doering. Back to Bradley. What can Bradley manufacture? He can kick it high in the air to half forward. And
well done.
Oh, well done, Chaffee. It was a good mark in the finish. He had the player running at him in Hickmott. Got the ball to King. Gathered by Cameron. Backed himself. Ran away. Delivered. And delivered well to Knights.
Got Campbell.
Richmond steadying. Confrontation provided by the Blues.
Haven't seen Knights kick too many from outside 50 in his day.
On the run maybe, but certainly not from deliberate shots.
He's got no option either to sit to the top of the goal square here or go for goal or wait for something to present itself. King's dashing through.
Well, he's only kicked 5 goals for the year, Fish.
Now he gives it off to Bowden, who is a renowned long kick of the football. Bowden to the goal square. Marcus taken back there by Whitnall, and that's the second in a minute.
Hasn't he stood up at both ends this quarter? You're looking at the reason of the game. Oh, look out.
Fun and game between the two boys here.
Ottens and Silvagni. Gamesmanship maybe on behalf of the Carlton veteran. Camporelli into the middle at the feet of Mansfield. He's got to give the hand pass away. He does. The player providing that was Houghton. In turn Hickmott. In turn Koutafidis. In turn it goes back. It's Houghton again. He's caught. He got his kick away. Importantly gathered by Lappin. Got past. Still got past. Exciting football. Smothered by Chaffee. Bradley, Hickmott, Lappin. It's too hot to handle. It's too hot to call. It goes to Favola. He's proposed the mark. What? He dropped the bloody thing. He did say dropped it, Paul.
I have to agree with you. Unless my eyes are deceiving me there. A very lucky man with the ball in his hands.
No, the ball hit the ground.
What? That's dropping it. Sorry, that's my frustration.
Here it is.
Bang, bang, ball on ground, Mark Pay.
The umpire was about 40 metres away from that contest.
Well,
here he goes. Important kick.
He missed one just a few minutes ago. Favola. Brendan Favola. Listen to this if he kicks a goal. Listen to this if he misses. I think he's kicked the goal though, hasn't he?
He missed it, I think, Robbo.
He's missed a couple of behinds. Tell you what, he'd have been lynched by that mob down there in the front of where the race is. They'd have got on the ground and killed him if he'd have kicked the goal.
They've only just sat down.
Well, 1-1. Never at any stage did he control it.
The umpire's blindsided to that one, and obviously didn't see the lack of control there, Robbo. But maybe justice was done.
Sure. Fair enough too. 7 points the margin in favour of Richmond. Chance here for the Tigers to get clear of their half-back line. Rogers receiving from Bowden. Broderick and McKay. The ball spills for a boundary throw-in.
It's been the Carlton stars, Doug, that have stood up. Whitnall, Koutafidis.
Camporelli's had a fair bit of footy this quarter too. Fish been terrific. Looks like Royce Vardy having a spell now. Daffy back on the ground.
from the resultant boundary throw in. Brett Ratton can't break away, and the umpire will be forced to bounce.
Well, Camberelli's had 22 touches now with the 4 marks and 5 good tackles. He's been great in the third quarter. Ratton's off.
Yep. Ratton going for the blood rule. Very importantly, well, not important really, because there's only 10 seconds left. So they'll patch him up quickly, and the score looks as if it will be a 7-point margin in favour of the Tigers at 3/4 time.
Pretty quiet day, Brett Ratton, to his standards. He only had the 15 touches.
But he doesn't waste them too much, Doug.
He uses the ball beautifully.
He's pretty effective with him. He's scrambled, he's really stuck at his guns, and he's the sort of guy that can, or player, that can really break a game apart.
Whitnall 4 of Carlton's 6 goals. What relativity is there, Doug, in that?
Well, looks like now, no doubt about it, he's a lone hand down there, Robbo. Gasper's got the job on Whitnall.
Bradley gets the last kick of the quarter. And that is the status quo at 3/4 time, folks. Richmond 8-7-55 lead the Blues 6-12-48.
What a quarter it was too. What a pace these two sides have set all day. Neck and neck, and Richmond have looked like breaking away on a number of occasions. And the Blues just keep on coming back. And there's Campbell there, the skipper of the Tigers. He should be pretty proud of his effort so far, but there are another 30 minutes to go. And with only 7 points of difference, this game is on for young and old. And Dipper's down on the boundary with Darren Crocker.
I certainly am, Paul. Just discussing off camera there. You've been, your boys have been terrific all day from the first bounce, I think.
Yeah, look, they've been really committed. They've pretty much tried to carry out everything we went into with the preparation, the matchups. Matchups have worked for us so far. 25 minutes to go, so hopefully they keep working for us.
Yeah, last scoring game there, but Ottens and Richo was certainly trouble in the back line of Carlton, but Richardson off the ground now.
Yeah, look, that's a bit of a shame. Like, we got probably Richo and Hilton who are off and won't be coming back, but Carlton are in the same boat. I think they've got Massey and someone else off, so both benches are down to 2 guys. Hopefully we can just keep fighting it out. Otto, hopefully he can stand up this quarter and take a couple of grabs.
It's one of those games, it's a real challenge, isn't it? I mean, this is where you play 44, you know, it's halfway through the season, and this game is winnable today.
Oh, it's just so important. We've got the break next week. It's a real winnable game for us. We went in really, really determined to come away with this one, so hopefully the boys can keep going for the rest of this quarter.
Thanks, Darren. Good on you, mate. And just talking about Rory Hilton, looks like he's done an AC joint there, boys, so we've got 2 players left on the bench for Richmond and 2 players left on the bench for the Blues. So it's one of those hard-hitting games, boys.
So there's quality players too, Robbo, those players. There's Hilton on the bench with his suspected AC joint. Richo obviously looks like he's done a string.
Doug, what about Mark Porter starting the last quarter now on the bench? Do you think Carlton have felt that maybe Houghton was integral in their surge towards the end of the third term?
Yeah, maybe a little bit of surprise there, Robbo, particularly with Brendan Gale. There we go.
Or do you maybe conserve the energy of this boy to say the 10-minute mark and say go for it for the last 20?
Well, that may be the case. Silvagni down at centre-half back. By the way, where can I get his jumper from? Fish Steve Silvagni.
Well, if you wanted one of those 300-game jumpers, there's only 300 of them, Doug. You have to be quick. www.carltonfc.com.au.
11 possessions to Camberelli in the third term. He also was an important part in the Blues' onslaught towards the end of the third quarter. Ratton tries to break away, and he's locked up there by Duncan Callaway. Duncan Callaway always there on his opponent. Sorry, Dip.
I would say the Richmond boys got a loose man working on Whitnall, Gasper, and also what's his name?
Holland.
Sorry,
Holland.
Thank you.
Holland. Yep. You're right, mate. Blues have got it forward from the bounce. It goes close to Hume. He can't get the hand pass away. Mansfield, Camberelli, Franchina, well done to Houghton. Houghton quickly onto his boot, high in the air. Whitnall from about 4th in line. No mark taken. Spillage could be gathered by Cameron. Hand pass ineffective. Still there for the Blues. Well done by Hume. Koutafidis. Hickmott. Franchina back to Hickmott. Hickmott bombs away. 2-on-1. Whitnall very much outnumbered, and from behind Ben Holland had to sit on him, and Ben Holland has taken the mark.
Well, that's the loose man that Dipper was talking about, Ben Holland. He's going to have to do a lot of that because Whitnall threatens to take the game by the scruff of the neck for the Blues.
Ordinary kick. Lappin chips in. Freeborn. Lappin can't spin out of trouble. Well done by Joel Bowden. Hand pass through the legs there of Lappin. Freeborn gathers. Handball all right. Hume back to Houghton. Short kick is okay.
Well done.
Mark is taken by Hickmott. Blues surging again at the start of the last term. Kudafiti's being held. Holland, Kudafiti still there. In goes Chaffee over the top in front of Ratton. And no one trying to clear the ball. Umpire decides on a bounce. Usually there's a free kick given in that situation.
Well, Kuda can't believe it. He was held. He called for the ball out there. It could have been held a little bit longer by Hickmott, but it wasn't. And we've now got a 50-50 on the 50-metre line. But Richmond won't be too upset about that situation.
7 points the margin in favour of Richmond. All players overrun the football. Callaway too high. Really, in this context of this match, free kicks like that should not be given.
Yeah, let it go.
Duncan Callaway short kick taken by Leon Cameron. Very experienced campaigner now, Leon Cameron. Lovely little poke there, and he finds Andrew Callaway.
King's on.
High ball in that direction, and King has marked away from Lappin. 3 or 4 clean possessions to the Tigers. King's kick is good.
Great kick.
And a good lead, a long lead provided by Brad Ottens in front of Stephen Silvagni. Ottens has played on now, kicks it high, and that's a mark. A nasty one, wasn't it? Franchina, that was unnecessary. Campbell has got to be careful. That young boy was clumped quite severely.
We saw it. Everyone else saw it. How come the umpire didn't see it?
He saw it, but thought it was not an infringement.
Right across the ear.
Well, Clinton's coming off.
Bowden, high, into the pocket. Silvagni holding. Knight's handball okay. Broderick, what can he do? Broderick, kick a goal! Kick a goal, Paul Broderick! The skills of the modern Australian footballer on show there. Richmond's 9th goal.
Oh, that was a tremendous finish. Paul Broderick, we saw him do it. Here it comes out. Knight's great vision, and he's had time to steady there and put it on the outside of his boot and turn it around. That's a highly skilled goal, and Broderick not unfamiliar with some clutch goals for the Tigers over the last few weeks.
Well, after the Blues had plenty of play in their forward 50, Richmond have kicked the first goal of the last term, and they lead now by 13 points. Important set of clearances. Kudafiti's to Lappin. Lappin to straighten up and then kick with the right in the Whitnall direction. Whitnall brings it to the ground. Taken here by Andrew Callaway. Now Duncan Callaway. In trouble there was Daffy. Able to squeeze the kick away. Out wide Bowden. Ratton was in trouble behind play. Bowden gets past and then bombs in towards full forward. Silvagni, Christou, over the top Mansfield. He's tackled. Umpires decided to pay a free kick at the ball of Richmond.
Well,
against Christou, Robbo and Fish on that occasion.
Rogers will take the free kick, and he's certainly within scoring distance.
Well, the umpires indicated it was over the shoulder against Ants Christou. There's Matty Richardson, a bit of a warm-up at the stage.
well, I tell you what, in my opinion, it'd be mad to throw Richardson back on unless he's 100% right.
Yeah, leave him off.
But the Tigers seem to be doing the job at the minute. Rogers.
Big kick, this one.
Well, he can make the gap 19. There's the angle. Distance will be his greatest concern. He kicks.
Oh, hang on.
It's a floater all the way to the line. A rush behind to Richmond.
Oh, he plucked out the helicopter kick there.
He did, Fish.
Unfortunately, wasn't able to finish the job, but
You see Porter now gone forward here. Fish and Robbo being picked up by Ben Holland.
Camporelli to McKay. McKay goes to Beaumont. Beaumont with space. Couple of bounces. Could have nearly gone again. Then decides to kick long in towards full forward. At the fall of the ball. Taken there by Chaffee. Franchina. Favola, and he's over the top there of Brendan Gale. And forces a boundary throw in about 50 metres from the Carlton goal.
Just checking this Richmond bench out as we see Richmond back to make another change. Look, it might come down to just one person left on the bench with Clinton King come over after that heavy knock.
That's Mills onto the ground now.
Hilton's gone up the race, boys. He's gone.
The ball is out wide. It was with Ottens. Tivendale missed it. So did Ratton. Tivendale went in. Second chance at it. Mansfield handball. Coughed it up. Bowden. Silvagni on Ottens. Tivendale again. Kicks towards the area of Broderick, taken by McKay. McKay to Koutafidis. Koutafidis tries to get it back to McKay. McKay to Mansfield. A scrambly old kick by Mansfield. Absolutely clean bowls. Houghton taken by Bowden. And the cleanness there of Richmond will clear the half-back line for them. Callaway's kick
Great play.
has been marked in the centre by Houghton.
Bowler, good tackle.
Houghton's handball goes to Christou. In turn, Koutafidis. Rogers is there. Houghton over the top. Christou unloads. Kicks to the goal square. Whitnall couldn't take the mark. Tigers standing up. Andrew Callaway tackled by Favola. Brendan Gale coughs it up. Bradley will kick a goal like that.
Oh, he's good.
If you can do it, I can do it.
Well, what extraordinary football. Craig Bradley. Now that is poise in a high-pressure situation. Whitnall's doing all the bullocking and the tough work. He's been crunched in packs. And there he is on screen. As you see it come out there, Benny Gale just didn't get onto that one. Obviously, he knew where he wanted it to go, but, well, any way you want it. Inside, outside, turn and face. Bradley's a fantastic footballer. And Carlton with a real sniff here.
Yes, where we are in front of 72,000 people. And it is 8 points the margin once again. Richmond lead. They've controlled this game from pretty well the start. They led by 7 at quarter time. They led by 5 at half. And they led by 7 at three-quarter time. They lead now by 8. The ball all the way to the goal line. Silvagni crunched. Got the handball to Christou. Beaumont. Little kick is all right. Hickmott gathers. Little kick is good. Lappin. Go for a really lovely stroll on the MCG. Matthew Lappin gets the ball to Houghton. Houghton can go back to Lappin. Running support provided by Lappin. Mark, no. The ball's still at half forward for the Blues. Darren Gaspar. Handball over the top. Chaffee. You've got to kick it. He does it. He handballs it wide to Bowden. And steady down, folks. Bowden gets the 2 nights.
I tell you what, if the trend of this game continues, Richmond are going to want to be a couple of goals up going at a time on, Dougie, because the Blues have just bitten back hard in each of the time ons of this game.
He's going to settle down the Tigers now.
Mills has got the ball. Fresh player on the ground.
First touch from Milty.
Goes into the pocket. And good mark, wasn't it? To get a mark like that away from Stephen Silvagni, you've done pretty well.
Great
and it
kick.
was Brad Ottens and he kicked it. And the mark taken by Hall. He plays on. Tivendale! It's a goal!
Great goal, Tigers.
Third goal to Tivendale.
Well, he just knows where to get. Doug, the ball is coming in at 50. He was a long way away from the mark there by Hall. As we see Otten turn, great skills for a big fella, but the feed was fantastic. Tivendale can finish.
Ray Hall, brilliant hand here by the big fella. Only a young player. Tivendale, as you mentioned before, the Robbo's kicked 3 goals. None bigger than that one.
Back out to 14 points and the Blues with plenty of concerns. And the big roar from the Tiger fans. Porter back on the ball. Tigers go clear through Bowden, who's been pretty good. 24 possessions. The ball at half forward for Richmond. Daffy onto it. Daffy got the kick away. McKay couldn't take the mark. Another goal. Broderick, he's second in the quarter. Richmond out to a 20-point advantage.
Well, Broderick's kicked 2 of the last 3. It's men like Joel Bowden that have just played a belters of games. And a quick clearance out of the centre where it all counts. Good honest contest in the air. Daffy's dragged onto his boots somehow. Mackay just unfortunately in a poor position there. And Broderick, well, he's made a hero of himself in the last 10 minutes of football.
Now, Robbo, you just see Porter back in the ruck. He's got to go back in the ruck. Brendan Gale has been outstanding. Joel Bowden, as you said there, Fish, has had a brilliant last quarter.
The bounce to restart play. Nothing happening from that centre bounce. Chance for Hume. Still a chance for Darren Hume. To Hickmott. Hickmott kicks it forward, but only as far as Cameron, who's been as steady as a rock back there.
Bowden's in trouble.
And
Andrew Callaway goes long. Good option. Chaffee. Short kick is all right. No, a little too high. McKay tries to get the hand pass wide. Beaumont didn't look. Kick back towards Porter, but it's taken by Campbell. Ratton, Brendan Gale, Andrew Callaway. They're sharing it nicely. They are composed. They are going to win this game, the Tigers. We're still 11 and a half minutes from the final siren, but they are controlling this match quite nicely. Chaffee into the pocket. Manton couldn't take the mark.
Free kick.
Well done there by Mills.
Free kick to Manton in the back.
The one player who's been getting the ball out of the middle, Joel Belden's off the ground with a hand injury, so we'll keep you up with that.
Well, with over 11 minutes to play, that could be a turning point because he's been super influential out of the middle.
Has, yep.
Manton goes short. Finds Hume, still with some run in his legs. Has to go long. Kicks it out wide. Not bad either. Whitnall looking to play on. Does that. Little left foot kick all right. Favola, he's got to kick this. If the Blues are to win this game, Favola's got to kick the goal. And he's missed again. He's kicked 3 behinds.
Houghton coming off there, boys, and free ball about to come back on.
I'll tell you who's done a job today, boys. Duncan Callaway on Brett Ratton. I mean, Ratton's been out an outstanding touch. He's only had the 15 touches to his standards. We know quite well, Fisher said before, he does use the ball well, but when he gets his 30 touches, he's a very important player in the midfield.
No doubt about that, Doug.
Callaway's been great.
More than halfway through the term. Leon Cameron goes long, out towards the wing. Good mark taken by Gaspar. Important there, Brendan Gale, just momentarily keeping Porter away. And Gaspar able to take the mark at half-back for the Tigers. Richmond lead by 19. Good kick by Gaspar. Mark taken by Andrew Callaway. They wouldn't give a feed away, would they, those Callaway boys? Goes to Tivendale. Tivendale short kick. Knocked away from Mills by Beaumont. The boundary umpire will throw it in.
Gee, the crowd were almost urging Tivendale to go for home there. He's been kicking so well from outside 50. But he decided to pass it off to a short 50-50. And we've got a boundary throw-in.
That's Bowden being just looked at by the medical staff. Ratton gets a kick out of there, back towards the middle. But the mark is taken by, guess who?
Andrew.
One of those Callaway boys.
Andrew Callaway.
They are just absolutely desperate, aren't they?
That's his 10th mark.
Handball away to Leon Cameron. Little kick is okay too. Mark taken by Mills. Mills could go short to King, is it?
King, here it is.
Rogers provides the lead and Mills will honour that. Into the pocket and Rogers is marked.
Well, that lead was on what seemed like for an eternity. From sitting up here, we could see Rogers cutting from the opposite side of the pocket. The opposite pocket, I should say, and a great diving mark, and Mills has picked up. He's been pretty impressive since he came on. He's come into a pretty hot kitchen and has stood up pretty well.
Great use of the ball by a young player in that situation. Andrew Callaway, you're right about that, Robbo. He's been breathing that half-back flank.
Rogers will kick for goal from about 40 metres. Difficult angle. No, it's not! All the way to the line. It's helped over for a rush behind. That's 5 rush behinds to Richmond on my scorecard.
It looked all the way there, didn't it, that kick? It looked very good off the boot. It just didn't quite have the penetration. Carlton need one in the next minute of play just to replant the seed in the minds of the Richmond players. They've still got a big game on their hands.
Favola to Silvagni. Silvagni to Whitnall. In trouble, McKay. Well done, Andrew Callaway. The tackler. Franchina. And eventually over for a boundary throw-in. When the Blues had control there, they couldn't get any further forward than centre wing.
Well, where they really fell down, Fish and Robbo's up in their forward line. I mean, Whitnall's had the lone hands, kicked 4 of the 7 goals, and Craig Bradley, their 37-year-old captain midfielders, kicked 2 goals. Only had 3 goal kickers. You need more than that.
One can't play down there, boys. I can't make out who it is. But
well, Richmond have control of the ball around the middle of the ground. Leon Cameron, good vision, excellent kick. King into the pocket, and they've taken the mark. Have they through Rogers?
He's paid it.
They're calling for the bench for the stretcher.
2 down there, Dipper. There's 2 Carlton players.
Oh, hell.
They must have collided into each other, did they?
Koutafidis is one of them, isn't he?
Kouta's one of them. They're both in trouble.
Let's not hope it's not Cooter's knee there, because he's had trouble there.
I think it's Cooter up here at full forward.
It's not Cooter.
It's Franchina.
Rogers, another shot at goal by Matthew Rogers. Neatly, decisively through for a behind.
It's become a war of attrition, this game.
Now he's going to stop the play, is he? The umpire has said no score. We will hold up play until we establish what is happening with the player out there on centre wing.
Could be Favola, I think, at this stage, Robert. Maybe Favola.
Franchina there. And
Brendan Favola. Yep.
Favola going down. So
surely one of the umpires must have called all clear, have your shot.
Yeah.
Maybe not. I'd be interested to see.
It looks like he's shot again, I think, the boys.
He's going to give him another shot because he shot the goal dipper, and the umpire, which is closer to where the incident happened on the wing, has come down and said, no, I've called time out. The stretch is coming on the field, and you can have another go at it. So
that's like playing in the Masters, US Masters at Augusta, and you've missed the green with a 7-iron, and you're going to lose the tournament by 1, and the umpire said you can go and have another shot. You knock it to 6 feet, sink the putt, and win the tournament ball.
Well, look, here's the incident again. Oh, there's the knee. Luckily, Franchina is up and running, but it looks like it may have copped Franchina in the ribs.
Pretty simple, wasn't it?
Didn't seem much in it, but it's a very unfortunate situation for the Carlton club, and in particular, of course, Favola. There's a few players have gone down today, and you can't knock any one of these players that have taken the field for their attack on the football. And at the contest, they've all had their bodies over it, heads down. And this, Robbo, you mentioned it, he converts now, and do you shut the gate?
Oh, it's all over. 20 points right now. Matthew Rogers in his attempt now to try and stretch it to 26. Favola has gone to the rooms on the stretcher. And Carlton would be nearly down to the bare minimum.
Well, they certainly are. They've only got one we can think of that's fit enough to come off the bench. So
Massey, Houlihan and Favola, all injured to the extent that they cannot take any further part in the game. Rogers going for Richmond's 12th goal. Rogers has missed.
It's funny, you know, he's almost overcompensated there. He missed the first kick to the left, and then he's missed that one to the right. I reckon third time lucky. Give me another one.
Have another crack at it. 21 points. That's Houghton, who looks as if he's the only fit player. So the Blues down to 19. Camporelli's kick was at the feet there of Franchina. Lappin underneath the pack. And the umpire will bounce. On the other hand, of course, Richmond have Matthew Richardson, Joel Bowden and Rory Hilton all in strife.
So Joel Bowden about to come back on, boys.
He's about to come back, is he?
Yeah, he's right.
That's good.
Wrist has been strapped up heavily.
Mills off.
Carlton must take some risks here and create run and attack.
McKay tried to get the lateral hand pass. Lappin missed the attempted kick off the ground. Daffy, handball. Still the Blues a chance.
Done.
Hume is a player. Look out, you're gone. Beaumont, but didn't Darren Hume do well? He just followed the ball up. Fed it to Camporelli. Camporelli to half forward. It's nearly dark here at the MCG as we watch Mark Chaffee take a courageous mark at half back. To Campbell. Campbell wide. Awkward bounce for Tawney. Was that awful or what? Lappin short kick. Bradley missed the mark. There are errors coming from everyone.
Some weary boys out there.
Andrew Callaway. Still Andrew Callaway. Handball over the top, taken by Tawney. This time, the Tigers will go forward through Clinton King. He kicks to the face there of Rogers. Couldn't take the mark. Matthew Lappin has the football. Little left foot kick is all right. To Christou. Christou plays on. Kicks the ball to half forward. No mark to Andrew Callaway. Porter provides the contest. The ball locked up and the umpire will bounce. No, it's a free kick.
Yeah, I thought he had a bit of time, Andrew Callaway, to get rid of that football on that occasion. So fair decision by the umpire there.
Camporelli by himself right out in the middle.
Not much longer.
21 points the margin, 6 minutes left. Jordan Doering kicks into the pocket. Hume is marked.
Got to get it in there quick.
27 possessions to Darren Hume.
Been good.
Kicks the ball in towards full forward. No mark to Cameron. Tawney nearly tackled by Beaumont. Ben Holland stands his ground and gets the ball to Tivendale.
He's had a great game, Big Tivendale.
Tivendale goes long. Kicks it well too, doesn't he? And Bowden is marked. Franchina. Bowden, can he get past? He does. Rather arrogantly then.
Empty goal square.
Bowden to the goal square. Leaping Brendan Gale. No, Silvagni from behind. Christou it was. Chance here for Porter. Gets the handball to Hickmott. Hickmott goes further afield. Lappin. Is there any run in the legs of any players? Lappin into the middle. Mansfield marks. You spoke about the risks. Mansfield not prepared to take the risk. Goes short. Mark taken by Beaumont. Blindly goes in towards full forward and Doering couldn't take the mark. Tawney had been quite prepared, wouldn't he, to take it over. Doering the tackler, but Tawney got it to Andrew Callaway. Andrew Callaway is deep at right half back. He may go for the safety of the boundary line. No, he kicks it to the advantage of King. King towards half forward. Rogers and Christou. Christou forces a boundary throw in. Richmond lead by 21 points with 4 3/4 minutes left.
Well, Robbo, catch your breath for a second. The lights have just come on with just under 5 minutes to play in this game.
Duncan Callaway's taken himself off the ground himself. Looks like he's suffering from cramp of some sort. So pretty hard hitting game out here, boys.
Well, they've been
8
going
tackles,
at
Dipper.
a cracking pace all day, Dipper, and well, there's going to be some very sore and weary boys after this one.
Yeah, Duncan Callaway, 8 tackles. Got the job on Brett. Bratton's been terrific.
Ratton, you mentioned, Doug, he gets the ball a heck of a lot more than 16 times in the game, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's his job, Duncan Callaway. Brit in that area.
We acknowledge that Ratton is the engine room, and he sets it up for so many players, you know, moving through the midfield.
Yeah.
Bounce of the ball at half forward for Richmond. Ottens, Freeborn, Hickmott, look out, Stephen Silvagni, you're gone. Lappin chips in. Hall, Campbell, kick smothered by McKay. Still McKay, still Andrew McKay. But they're in numbers. Chaffey, Cameron, Campbell, short, mark taken by Broderick.
Well, this is man again. He's kicked 2 in the last. If he ends up with 3 goals in the last quarter, he stood up and he's caused the Blues a lot of pain, this guy. He's very smart. You can see McKay was in trouble in terms of outnumbered at the contest, and he slipped out the back, found space for himself in the hope that it would come out, and it has, Doug.
Well, Fish, that's his job now. He's not that 30 possession player anymore. His job now is to play inside 50 and kick you 3 or 4, and done his job if he does.
Well, it's a big kick to get the distance. He bombs it across the goal, and the Carlton defence under pressure. They'll get another one. Rogers. Matthew Rogers has capped a great game too. Couple of goals to Rogers. And the Tigers, who have earned this victory, they really have. They lead 82 to 55.
They certainly have earned the victory, Robbo. No dispute with you whatsoever there. They have worked so hard, put themselves in a position, and several times this game they have had that position. The Carlton have bitten back, but it would appear now the Tigers can warm up their vocal cords.
So back at the centre, 12-10 to 7-13. There are big roars now on the Raw meter, and they're all coming from the Tiger fans, who are very happy about the fact that they've ruined Stephen Silvagni's day, playing his 300th game for the Blues. These traditional rivals from way back when Tommy Hafey took over as coach of Richmond and Ron Barassi was coaching the Blues.
You know, this is more than just 4 points for the Richmond Football Club. In terms of their confidence, in terms of where they want to go this season, this is a big win.
You're dead right, Fish, and you said to Danny Frawley at the start of the year, you're going into the break and you're 7-4, you'd be very, very happy. That's what they'll be after this game, on level terms with Carlton, who'll be 7-4.
Hume not able to gather that awkward ball. Comes out to Hickmott, he can't get the kick away. Brendan Gale's been enormous. Knights and King. King gathers, handball, well done. Got it to Ottens. Ottens will kick the goal. Tigers easily now.
Well, I can start celebrating, start warming up their vocal cords for the Tigerland song, because they've earned this. There's no one to dispute it. There's Ottens and Silvagni on screen. There's been so many Richmond players. It's going to be really hard to find the best players out of this group. A lot of them deserve to be in it. And no one would argue with the result today, although both teams have really given it as close to 100% as you're ever going to see in a game of football.
Well, nearly for the first time in the day, the raw meters got to 100. They're cheering each goal now, aren't they? 13 goals 10 to 7 goals 13. And a comfortable margin in favour of the Tiger. Chaffee, Lappin tries to get out the back door. Hume has worked hard. Ratton, little left foot kick into towards full forward. Whitnall couldn't take it. He nearly grabbed the one-hander. Doering to get a late goal for the Blues. And he does just that. Jordan Doering gets the Blues 8th.
Well, you know, Richmond were just talking about how much they deserved the win, Doug, but the way the game's been going, you would have loved a closer finish, and really was deserving of it.
Yeah, it's been a tough game, Fish, no doubt about that. The skill level at times, the decision-making hasn't been that flash, but we can't really question the commitment from both sides and the pressure applied. The tackling's been very good, and that's a goal, certainly. Young Doering will be very happy with that one, but in the centre of the ground, Brendan Gale has been absolutely outstanding, he has.
Well, I don't think Richmond really care about the margin. As long as they come out on front as far as the scoreboard is concerned, and there's no doubt about that now. Still Brendan Gale working tirelessly. The importance of Brendan Gale's role has been that they've been able to afford the
Ottens up forward all the whole game, yeah.
And he, on Silvagni, takes a key player out of the Carlton lineup, doesn't it?
Absolutely, Robbo.
Well, if you're not going to drop a player back on Gale when he plays that role, he's going to cause you a lot of pain.
Yep.
Hume trying to just create a contest. Beaumont, can he get the hand pass out? He does to Lappin, who slips over. Well done, Beaumont. Got it to Freeborn. Very skillfully done, wasn't it? Freeborn's kick underneath it was Camperelli. Gee, it was an awkward ball, wasn't it, when it came in? But Camperelli standing underneath it. Cameron has been the architect of that defence.
Oh, yeah.
And Campbell, who's been a great leader in the midfield. Campbell coming up for possession number 29. Cameron has had 26 across that half-back line.
And 26 quality ones, Leon. Cameron has not wasted one ball, Robbo. He has been absolutely brilliant out of the half-back flank, Cameron.
Awkward ball through the air from Campbell, but Chaffee has marked. They'll enjoy this, the Tigers, won't they?
Well, Hawkins quite rightly wrapping up a few of the Tiger boys. Has there anyone in the Tiger side that's played a bad game?
Well,
I wouldn't think so.
No, not really.
They've all played their bit,
They've all done their bit, haven't they? No doubt about that.
The players that have been on the ground, when you look at the stats, have all been okay. The ones that haven't had the ball much have been the players who've been the negators of their opponents.
Absolutely.
In the form of Duncan Callaway, Darren Gaspar, Andrew Callaway, etc. Andrew Callaway's had 23 touches.
10 marks.
This young bloke stood up too.
He's been good.
In the fact that he's been a key defender. Ben Holland kicks it to the wing, and the mark has been taken out here by Porter.
He goes all day, Ports, doesn't he? He just grits his teeth.
That's it. There it is, folks. As satisfied, I would feel, Danny Frawley, with his coaching staff. They came in as the underdogs, and they've gone out the winners. Richmond 13-10-88. Have beaten Carlton 8-13-61. Richmond by 27 points. Stephen Silvagni's 300th game didn't finish the way he would have wanted it to. But I think he appreciates the competitiveness of this grand game that we watch week in, week out, and the spirit of his peers there. On this occasion, it's Richmond. It was a great day for Stephen Silvagni, but unfortunately the Blues have gone down to the Tigers by 27 points.